Woo, yeah. And I'm putting my footprint down, paving a lane in these wild YouTube streets. I'll be nice to you, just be nice to me, but push me, man. And don't even try, cause it gets savage when I'm under that pressure. I'm sliding into the job's complete, intellectually ignorant. It's clean heat, you don't want smoke with me. Ask around, they know the package. Happen right, show love, and we good.
Stanley, just hold on for a second. Do you see what the problem is here? And this is nothing against Stanley personally. This is the biggest problem that black men had with Barack Obama. You're trying to control how I speak.
No, I'm just asking questions.
The same way Barack tried to control how men should
don't
move
call him
with a
Barack.
vote.
You don't know him.
The same way that Barack and others have tried to control black men and the narrative of black men.
Okay.
And this is why black men.
This is the problem. The victimism. This is the problem with young people. Every goddamn thing is a victimization narrative. Barack Obama doesn't know you.
Here's the motherfucking problem. The motherfucking problem is this. You don't get to choose how I move or what I say. That is the motherfucking
I do get to choose whether to take you seriously or not, though. Don't be clown yourself. Don't get mad. Don't get mad and be clown yourself. Stay calm. Take a deep breath and calm down.
Sir, I don't need you to refer to me like I'm a child. Just because you're older than me don't mean shit. But the most important thing about all of this is
I'm
this,
just
right?
teasing you. I'm not trying to victimize.
I have no problem with that.
I'm just making a joke.
Do you think I'm taking offense to it? And here's the thing.
It sounds like you are.
No, I'm not. But here's the thing. You want me to be because that's a form
No,
of
I
control.
don't want you, dude.
That's a form
why
of
would I
control for
want
you.
this?
Because trolling is a form of control. Because you want me to react.
Trolling
to
is the form of control.
You want me to react to how it is.
Now we're both
that you are
attacking each other unregarded.
No, I'm not
here's
attacking.
Stanley, can I answer your question?
No, please
What
do.
he was saying? I can tell you, Steve Jobs and his administration, C-suite people said, do not give our children iPads or iPhones because they will become addicted to them.
Bang. But the crazy part is he was more than willing to listen to you say it and not willing to listen to me say it.
He uses fewer words.
It doesn't matter. The fact that he's older than me and I'm younger than him.
It does matter.
Have
some mercy on the old man.
What matters the most here is that this is something that we have been studying since the dawn of humanity.
Who is we? Who is we? What studying have you done?
Naturally, the old does not
Studying
respect
have
the
you
young.
done?
But that's
There you go. Hold on.
The old does not respect the young, and that's the problem.
No, I don't have to. You're saying nothing to respect.
And here's the thing.
But
Don't get your feelings hurt.
My feelings is not hurt, but here's the thing.
They sound hurt. You don't want to be held accountable for your own bad
It's
argument.
unfair. Do you think that is
You
unfair?
mentioned studies.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the kid, Jim Savage, in the building. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Let's give myself a round of applause. We're going to have some fun. We're going to try to have a civil conversation. It's more of a conversation than a debate, ladies and gentlemen, because this is what I want to have. Let's see here. We already have the fellas. We already have the fellas in the back. We got 17 watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button and share to your friends. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Let me take this out. It looks like, all right, here we go. Please subscribe. And if you ever feel so kind, there is an option for that Cash App right in the comment section right there. That's only if you feel generous. It's only a donation. It's only a donation. So let me get up top real quick and get this party started. We got in the building Cellulite Podcast.
What's popping, my G? What's popping? Salutations.
That's it. And we also have Stanley in the motherfucking building. What's good with you? What's good with you? What's good? Awesome.
What's going on?
Stanley, not Stanley, Savage, you talking? We can't hear you. Your audio not coming through.
Oh yeah, can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. Yeah.
My mic's not close enough. Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Stanley, can you hear him?
Can you hear me, Stanley?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Okay, you can.
Good. All right. Clear enough though?
Yep.
No, let me turn it up a little bit. Is it up? It sounds loud. All right, there we go.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, cool. All right, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Before I get started, I want to share a screen with you guys. Let's see here. All right, and I want to play this right before we go.
Them often being forgotten as a key generation. Baby boomers, 1946 to 1964. The term baby boomers comes from the baby boom of the late 1940s and 1950s, as all the World War II veterans returned home and the economy recovered from the Depression and wartime footing. The result? A higher standard of living for Americans, a fast advance in commerce and technology, and a whole lot of woohoo. And soon the babies started coming, resulting in a massive generation of over 76 million Americans alone, making them the largest generation. And they grew up in a world that saw progress come fast. This was the age of the space race, of the civil rights movement, of Woodstock, and of changes that led to what most people view as a typical American childhood.
Hey, would you like your very own Shopify store?
All right, we're about that. All right, we're gonna skip that right there. Thank you very much. All right, let's get ready. Here's the rules and regulations for the game. We had to be cammed up during the whole conversation and debate. There's an echo. Somebody's watching it?
No, that was me. I was watching it on my phone. I'll turn it down.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So the rules and regulations we have here, stay on cam during the debate. Try to stay as civil as possible. I'll give it 98.9% was to keep it civil. And just have the conversation. We're going to give each person, I am going to ask a question first. And we're going to give each person 2 minutes to respond and give a reason why they responded that way. And if there needs to be a rebuttal, we're going to give 2 minutes on a rebuttal. All right.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
I sent you a couple links. I'll need you to put them up at some point in time, probably. And it's part of my response. The one from yesterday and the one I just sent you.
Let me see. We just in Instagram.
Yes.
All right. Hold on, let me get it. Mind Chaos Brew. Appreciate you for the $20 dub. Thank you very much. Let's see here.
What does that say?
Whatever.
Because a real wife is always in the room.
Don't start, Stanley. All right. Just let me know when you want to I'll suit it and boot it. Just
okay, well, one of them is a search on Black Boomers, the term.
Mm-hmm.
So but I use Brave as the browser. So you may have to I don't know if you use Brave, but
no.
If the link doesn't work, just use just Google or Black Boomers. It should pretty much give you what I need.
Okay. I'll work on that. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna start off.
Hey, do you mind if I just do a little bit of shilling right quick? Hey, anybody that's watching on my channel, make sure y'all come over to Savage's channel as well to subscribe, to support. We are trying to help the brother out. If you'd like to donate, please make sure you donate to the Cash App that is in the chat. I already put it in my chat, but it is $Security Strongs. We want to help our brother out, and we appreciate him for facilitating this debate. So make sure y'all support the host and support the debate. Greatly appreciate each and every last one of y'all.
Appreciate you, Cellular. Appreciate you.
No problem.
All right. I am going to give you guys a chance to ask each other questions, but it's going to be later down the road. I just wanted to start off a little bit right here. Which generation failed to prepare the next one for the world they created. I'm gonna do age before beauty. So let's so let me get here, let me get started. Let me get Stanley. And I am not gonna press any buttons for any mute or anything right now, because I'm hoping everybody can keep it PG or PG-13. Let's see here. All right, let's get this going. We got 2 minutes, Stanley. This is your response.
I would say Gen X.
Expound.
I don't need to. You asked the question, I've answered it.
Okay, no problem. Don't need.
Who parented the millennials? A lot of boomers did.
Okay, so that's your answer.
Yes.
All right, here you go. So, what do you think about that? Sailor.
Can you put the question back on the screen? Makes better for a better show. That way the audience can keep up with the question. Yeah.
There you go.
The question is, which generation failed to prepare the next one for the world they created? I would say it's the boomers. Reason being is because they were the children who was raised by the solid generation, which they only brought about those attributes, those characteristics that they passed on to the Gen Xers, and the Gen Xers pretty much had to pick up where they left off. And when it came down to passing it on all the way down to the millennials pretty much, we got the residuals of what it is that the solid generation left behind for the boomers, but the boomers took it in a whole different way, and they evolutionized it. So it's definitely the boomers.
You have anything to say about that, Stanley?
No, other than it's shallow analysis.
Okay. Let me see. So, all right. So, are you ready? Y'all ready for the next question, or you just? Or
I'm ready for the next one.
All right, let's do this. I'm just gonna put.
Hey, I also want to say I was born in '65, so you could argue that I'm right on the cusp, but your poll question, boomers and Gen Z, I think that's what it said, or did you say millennials?
I just said who you rep Gen Z.
Oh.
Yeah, who you rep Gen Z.
Where's Gen Z for representation?
Huh? But
There was no Gen Z. It was boomers and Gen Z.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. So I'm gonna put the next question up, and I'm gonna give most of y'all time to talk about it. I'm just gonna put the question up. I don't want to do too much talking. I'm over here sweating. So let's just have the conversation. Here's the next one. Did boomers over promise stability, or did Gen Z? Oh shit! I put that. But Gen Z. Why did I tell you? Hold on, my bad. Timer off. Let me take the timer off. My bad.
It's okay. We can comprehend what the question is.
All right. Yeah. There we go. Can y'all see it?
You got to put it back up. You got to put the question. There it is.
There we go. Trying to turn this timer off. My bad. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Did boomers overpromise stability, or did Gen Z under-deliver the resistance?
May I take a crack at this one first?
Sure.
All right. I wouldn't say that boomers overpromised stability, because a lot of what the boomers did was leave. What boomers participated in was, so the silent generation was seen and not heard. The boomer generation was, we just not going to be there. And what happened was that passed on to Gen X. And what they did was they was just pretty much like, this is what we picked up from our parents. But the boomers, what they participated in regulating the home up into a point. Once they was either challenged or they was met with some type of scrutiny, or they just couldn't reach whatever goal it is that they was trying to reach, they just left. The problem is they came back 20 to 25 years later trying to regulate things within the household like they was running things. They didn't promise any stability. They just upended all of their responsibility and their accountability and chose and went elsewhere.
What say you, Stanley?
My critique is basically, and I'm not responding to that. There's nothing to respond to. The way I see it, and I tend to look at things, with a historical slash political lens. I think boomers were allowed to hang on to political power way too long. I give examples, and she might have been silent generation, but it's still a good example. For instance, Trump is is a boomer. He's almost 80. Biden, another good example. We need to figure out how to encourage these people to leave office before they become infirm. Barbara Boxer died in office, and the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, she was obviously um, had dementia, and supposedly her staffers were basically doing her job. So the way I see it is boomers held power way too long. Um, I don't know about daddies leaving home and all that stuff. I tend to look at things politically and historically. I'm not a sociologist.
Any response to that? So
Yeah, even in response to just on a political scale, you look at most of the people that's in office, they come from that boomer era, and how it
I
is that
literally
they have.
just said that.
just let him finish, and then you can respond. Stan.
You look at the way that the country is being ran, democratically and republicly, you see that the Democrats have always been the ones to really drive this country within the state of being in a damn near destruction. When you look at how it is that when it's run by a Republican, now all of a sudden Democrats have all these things that they want to bring up. I just say specifically, politically, all of these people have been in office way too long. But if we want to bring it back down onto a more sociable scale, even on a social level, a lot of these old ways that they believed in, that they rooted in, that they stuck in, they still think that they're going to work or that they're better than what it is that the time that we live in right now. The time that we live in right now has evolved way past what it is that they were used to, and that's where we have this kind of confrontation there because they believe that their way was going to work. Well, if their way was going to work, we would have still done it, or we would have built upon it. We just walked away from it because they walked away from us.
You respond, Stan.
It's a muddle. No idea what he said. Democrat versus Republican is a different debate. We're talking boomers and Gen X and millennials and all that stuff. Um, my political point is that boomers have stayed in office too long. They held on to power longer, and apparently there was no mechanism to force them out. Oftentimes it was death that forced them out. That's really the only point. If you want to talk about boomers, they stayed in political power too long. Economics, I'm not sure that's the case, but politics for sure. And it seems like we were getting into a liberalism versus whatever MAGA is. That's a different show. I can debate that, but I'm not doing it today.
Yeah, politically, I think I can agree with some things that you're saying, but more so dealing on a social level because the social level is where it starts at. People come from the social level go into the political world. On a social level, a lot of people, especially from that boomer era, what they left behind was destruction, was devastation, was loneliness, was they left families distraught and arrayed because they went on and created families in different avenues and down the street and in a whole new state and all this, that, and the other. What it did to the children who came up in this time, they were devastated by what it is that the boomers did. Not to include not just the men, but also with the women, but primarily focusing on the family unit and the structure. The family was devastated by what it is that the boomers did for men and women. It's just that even now to this day, we still have content creators creating live streams and doing content, and they're targeting these specific talking points that came from that boomer era. Prime example, look at what a lot of men are talking about today. A lot of men are battling these talking points that come from these indifferences that's stemmed in what the boomers did, which was left. When you listen to a lot of women content creators and a lot of women panelists that even go to these content creators platforms, they are specifically talking about the 50s and the 60s and all this, that, and the other. That's the problem that we're dealing with. The problem that we're dealing with is the sins of the fathers that they left behind. Not that something we created. Us as millennials, us as Gen Zers, we haven't had a chance to create new mistakes because we're still battling in the old mistakes that the boomers left behind.
Any response there?
The aphorism is politics is downstream of culture. It's not. Politics is downstream of the family or sociology. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I have no clue what he's talking about. Maybe he can elaborate.
I pretty much laid it out simply, right?
It went over my head. Okay. We can move on if you want.
On the political, I'll say this right quick. On the political side of things, if I was here to debate politics, I would be here to debate politics because I don't think
I haven't brought up Democrat and Republican yet.
Gotcha. But that's my point. I think that when it comes to the whole usage of or the terminology of what boomers is, I don't think that just starts or stops in some place in such as political arena or on a social level. I think that when we look at the grand scope and scale of what the timeline of a boomer is and also the mindset of a boomer and how it was passed down through the generations, that still sticks to this day. I'm here on a social level dealing with how it is that those boomers mess Gen X and beyond up.
I dig it. And everything's cool with that question? Everybody done with that?
I'm not a boomer. No idea what the mindset is. Maybe he knows what the boomer mindset is. I am ready for the next question, unless he needs to elaborate on the boomer mindset.
All right. So this is because I heard this. I heard this said between the discussions we had before. So I wanted to ask this question, but I wanted to start off with Sel on this one. Here's the next question. What's the difference between white boomers compared to black boomers?
Culturally, there's a difference. Culturally, there's a difference. White boomers, even at the bottom of even at the lowest of low, white boomers still see themselves above the top tier, or I guess the upper class of black culture people. But when it comes to the whole boomer instance, I wouldn't say that they're equal because it's just that whole thing of racism. We will never forget that there's always going to be an element of racism when you're dealing with white culture, even when you're dealing with black culture. But between white boomers and black boomers, there's almost no difference other than just they see themselves above black boomers.
What say you, Stan? Because this was one of the things you were talking about.
You can go ahead and put up one of those articles. There are huge differences.
All right, if you could talk for a little bit while I pull it up.
Okay. The difference, the racism is the big enough difference. Black boomers had a totally different experience than white boomers. And, if you want to intersect class or interject class into it, rich boomers had a different experience than poor boomers did. Manhattan, New York had a different experience than the holler in Stanley, Virginia. And yes, there's a Stanley, Virginia. It's in the holler. So that's why I don't even think the point that boomers did one thing or another. It's not a multiracial, boomer is not a multiracial term. You can talk about the time frame, the generational, when people talk generations, it's really a time thing, when you were born. It's really not anything more than that. Boomer, they're really, in my opinion, at least, and I'm not a sociologist, but the class, the race, there are all kinds of things that just calling someone a boomer doesn't cover. I think it's a shallow point. I think it's an emotional point. I don't think it's anything that's based in remotely in any sort of fact. The generational wealth gap, between blacks and whites. You know, other than, hey, blacks have a different generational wealth to pass down than whites do, that's data. Um, if you're 10 times poorer than a white boomer, you're not having the same experience. You don't have the same political power. You don't have the same social power. You don't have the same economic power. The whole premise, uh, that's why I didn't have any questions to ask. It makes no sense to me.
Let me see here, Stan. So I'm trying to I put it up there. I don't know if you could read it from your end.
I don't need to read it. The point, and it makes a point, especially that article from the magazine I sent you. It's a different experience. Even a guy who wrote a book on boomers basically exempts black people in that 46 to 64 range, because they had a totally different experience, especially in the South. Even the guy writing a book on boomers makes an exception for black boomers. And I didn't need the book to tell me this. If you actually have any sense of history, boomers, it's just something someone heard on, it's just a talking point. It's not serious thinking. It's not a serious position.
Can I rebut?
There you go.
Yeah. So my rebut against that is this. When it comes to black culture, when it comes to black community, the boomer traditions that they left behind, which was nothing but just debt and nothing but just unanswered problems and unsolved problems, the boomers walked away from it to where Generation X and beyond had to figure everything out. Again, not discussing politics, just on the social level. They left and then they came back 20 years later trying to tell us how to regulate. That's where the tension is. Now, as far as white boomers, I don't know. I wasn't raised by white boomers. I wasn't involved with white boomers. I was more so involved with black boomers. But as we venture out into this wonderful thing called social media, we see that what's in this article, the article that he provided, it has some semblance to it, but that still does not address the problem. You're removing the responsibility and the accountability that black boomers left behind within the black community, how they left it in a state of destruction and they walked away from it, and then they went out and chased drugs. They went out and chased all these blind opportunities. They chased all these false promises, and then when it didn't work for them, or it did, but that was the worst part, when it didn't work for them, they came back looking for a handout because of what they left behind and what they picked up. When it did work out for them, they came back and saying, well, you should have did what I did. Well, what is it that you did other than leave? Black boomers are the masters of leaving, of creating families, creating destroyed homes, leaving them, and then casting down critique on the black community as if they had all the answers, when the only answer they provided was to leave.
What say you about that, Stan?
Not all black people grew up in the hood. I did fine. My parents were slightly older than boomers, but the problems he's talking about, maybe it's a more personal thing. Maybe it's more anecdotal. It's not a data-driven argument. So I don't really have a rebuttal.
It would be hard to follow this data-driven argument.
I'm sorry. You go ahead and respond, and then I'll respond. I just thought of something.
No, you can go ahead and finish your thought.
Well, your point about black boomers, and look, maybe your argument might have more more impact if instead of saying just boomers in general, the general term, maybe if you just said black boomers, maybe it would have make a little bit more sense. But your point about black boomers leaving a bunch of debt and all that stuff, that really reinforces my point about the wealth gap, the generational wealth gap. White boomers did not leave the debts that black boomers did. Two different factions of boomers. When you say boomers, I think white boomers, Asian boomers, just any boomer. maybe your argument would make more sense if you just kept adding the qualifier,
Right. So
black boomers instead of just boomers.
to elaborate, white boomers, what they left.
Even if you specify, most
Mhm.
black people did not grow up in the hood, even during Jim Crow.
Gotcha. So to specify, white boomers, what they left behind was requirements. They left behind requirements to get access to the things that they left behind. You had to be you had to be within a white family. You had to have white children. You had to be of a certain age and all this, that, and the other. The things that they had access to that a lot of black people didn't have access to during that Jim Crow time. That's what they left behind. When I'm specifically talking about black boomers, what they left behind instability. They didn't have any type of foundation to leave behind to even say you have to meet a certain age to get this. Because black boomers, what they depended on was the government. That was the turning point when we look at the men and the women who came back. The men and the women who came back from Vietnam, they came back to a whole bunch of criticism. They came back to a whole bunch of divisive tactics that separated black families, that destroyed black neighborhoods, that pretty much uprooted the whole entire culture. But even within the white constituents, they was facing different kind of challenges, but the challenges was different from the black community. I'm not going to disagree with you on that, but I still would say that when it comes down to the boomers, when you listen to these younger or Gen X white men or white women, and as they talk about their boomer elders, they would even tell you that they had problems with them as far as the things that they had to deal with that those boomers left behind.
Okay, well, here's the
Also,
deal.
wait, I want one second. And the other thing is, I don't want it to come off as if this is an anecdotal experience of mine, or if this is just something that's tied to just a hood.
We'll present the data.
Okay, so again, this is not something that's just tied to a low level or a mid level class of thinking. This is also happening in the upper class of black culture as well. Continue.
Again, not a data-driven argument, so I'm not going to respond with data. No need to.
Based
But
upon
what you are doing is reinforcing my point that black boomers had a different experience than white boomers. So that part, it seems we agree on. So black boomer should be what you're talking about instead of boomer. Second thing is my father's a Vietnam vet. And, it's amazing to me how he's one of the most even-tempered people I've ever known. So, and this is anecdotal, of course, but I grew up in Savannah, Georgia. When I was growing up, it was a small city, 50% black, 50% white. And sure, there were problems, but believe it or not in my neighborhood, at least that I know of. So, I'm going to keep it at the anecdotal level. Your vision of what black boomers and black Vietnam vets went through and the destruction they wrought or the experiences they had when they got back, my experience is different than yours. But mind you, I grew up in a black middle class neighborhood in the 70s and the 80s, and it's still there. My father still lives there. After 50 years, yeah, the neighborhood's a little run down, but old people still live there without much of a problem. My experience is just different than yours. I have to take you at your word, but the one thing I do know is that the degeneracy or the dilapidation or the pathology that you're describing. When you say black community is not monolithic. Most black people were never, the majority of black people were never a part of the welfare state or receiving benefits. It is strictly, and since you don't have the data to go, well, in what, 1970, how many people, what percentage of the black population in 1970 was receiving, SNAP, or back then, I guess it was food stamps. Again, if you're not going to present the data, I'm not going to do your homework for you.
Then I have
It's a rhetorical argument that you're making, and I'm meeting it with my rhetoric. Try data-driven arguments, and you might be more convincing to people like me.
Based on data, what percentage of Black people live?
I don't know the data. You're making the argument.
That's cool. So based on data, the percentage of Black people that live below the poverty line, which is reported,
that wasn't my question.
I wasn't asking you a question.
How many receive government benefits? See, this is I'm not, dude. One, you didn't ask me a question. You didn't ask me a question. You didn't ask me a question. No, poverty line wasn't my question.
You didn't ask me a question. You didn't ask me a question.
Okay, well, you go ahead and present your evidence, and I'll destroy it after you present it.
Let's take a quick break. Let's go to the chat. Let's go to the chat real quick. To Mind Chaos Brew again for the $5 bar. Appreciate you. I'm gonna go down the chat real quick. We got Stanley. No, my bad. All right, I'm gonna go real quick because maybe we have something in the chat they wanna some questions. So we got Cherie, that's my sister in the building. How you doing, sis? Thank you. I don't know what that means, but let's go on. We got Almond Eyes in the building. Thank you for many thanks. Okay, let's see what there we got there. Nightish is here in the building. What's good with you? Almost dropped the ball on me, Nightish. I got you. We got Rocket G in the building. What he says? Greetings to the salutations. We got Eugene in the building. Thank you. Let's see. Angry Snowman. Oh, I was worried. I thought it was Angry Man. I'm like, all right, how you doing, man? Salute. Who else we got in the building? Ominous. All right, who's this? Candy Cane Lane.
Yeah, I know who she is. She's got a show, by the way. Pretty good one.
Put your link in there so I can subscribe, man. I'm out working with everybody. We're chilling with everybody. Come to see everybody. How you doing? Eugene Still, how you doing? What does he say? He said, I think we delivered resistance. Generation X, which we were saying Z, had a different attitude from the boomers. I think this is where the more liberal mentalities started. Dim's tears taste good, do they? Boomers hang on to political power. Shit, we talking about when they started, not now. All right. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for tuning in.
Well, I made that point.
Yeah. But these are all old, Stanley. I'm going through the whole line of.
Oh, okay.
We're almost done with them. Who's this? We got. Appreciate you. What does that say? Bobby Wody. Yeah. Okay, B Wody, what's really good with you? Peace out to him. Thank you for tuning in. All right, let's keep going on. Oh my God, my man Smitty in the motherfucking building. Merry Christmas to you, brother. All right, let's keep going. First, best Gigi. Let's see what else we got here. I think that's everybody that's in the building right now. We're gonna get back to. Gotta get back. Oh, we got a new one. Jackalope. That's how you say it. Jackalope in the building. Trump is a.
Don't read the troll. Don't read the troll.
Jackalope.
Don't read the troll. Don't read the troll comments.
See, people trying to get some dumb shit going on.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Always trying to fuck shit up. Let's see. And that's it. Okay. I want to Nightish in the building. And I also want to get the $5 ball from the Mind Chaos Brew. What we say right here, you should present data, Stanley, and stay out the chat because the data states that men left families during the time. All right, thank you.
Okay, you commenting on data is not data.
Excuse me. I believe it was my turn to retort. So here's the problem. Here's the problem with data. And this is why I say anyone who brings up an argument that is data related, they never look at the data that came out afterwards, because everyone says that the data is up to date. The problem is that the census or any type of data or testing that was done within the 60s or the 70s or the 80s, I mean, you look at, they said that black people was in what, 55% poverty rate during the 60s, and then that declined over the next coming generation.
That's not true.
Again, when you can go find reports and they are stating these things, this is why.
Okay, then you should have done the homework and found the reports to present. I'm not taking your word for it.
Interruption stage, but if we at the interruption stage,
dude, stop presenting slop.
This is what's wrong. Nah. We at that stage. This is what's wrong with boomers. They think they know everything, and yet here we are.
Except I'm not a boomer.
Here, but you have boomer mentality. Here we are at the dawn.
Oh, now you know my mentality?
Here we are within the dawn of 2020.
So if you can do ad hominems, why can't I interrupt?
Oh, you can definitely interrupt all you want to. Just let you know it's going to be a shit show, and it's not going to be a debate no more. But the thing is, if we
it was never a debate, son.
It was definitely a debate, and I'm not your son.
It was definitely.
And as always, this is what happens when boomers think they know everything, or people with a boomer mentality think they know everything, right? One, you think you're smarter than me because you're data driven, but even here we are in 2025, and we can look at the past few couple of hundreds of years of data and see that there's inconsistencies within the data, especially when you have influence and people who have intent when they have an agenda. Data should not be something that should be believed, it should be studied, because you have to look at the person who's presenting the data. I can present the data, and a white man can present the data, a Mexican present the data, and it will all be perceived and received under different avenues. But just because you want to go by some data that was presented before, as we're supposed to believe it to be true and true, when we look at how it is even during slavery times, a lot of data that was presented was not actually true. So do not stand on the laurels of trying to present a data-driven argument as this is the correct thing, when we can see here in 2025 that data can be manipulated. And this is the biggest problem that we have, because we understand, as the younger generation, we actually do research and see that they have been lying to us about a lot of things.
I would love for you to present one of those lies. Show me one thing that's been lied about. Just convince me.
Easy. One thing that has been lied about is that black fathers ain't shit, and that black fathers that are not actually involved in their children's life. What was the data in the study that was put out? You asked though.
I agree.
Okay, so if you're going to agree on that, then also you can agree to the notion that it was data in an article, and there was a study put out that black women are the ones who participate in baby deletions the least.
No idea where you're going with this. What's the next question?
My whole point of this, you can move on to the next question if you want to. My whole point of this is that
I definitely want to.
That's cool. But we're existing in the here and the now. People who put out agenda or narrative driven information cannot be trusted. Everything must be verified before it can be believed. And I don't believe anything when it comes to old studies or old data that has not been represented in an unbiased way. This is what happened this is what happened Gen X and moving forward, because what we had to do was we had to do constant research and not just believe what was told to us. Like in the 60s and in the 50s, when they was told that it was going to be better for black people to become Democrat, but here we are finding out that they never gave a damn about black people. They only cared about the vote.
Again, this is not about politics, is it?
You asked, I present a point, I presented it. It's up to you to do.
Okay, you know what? That's why I'm ready to move on. You're not doing a good job of it.
That's entirely up to you to interpret. But I can tell you this right now, when it comes down to it, because this is what the boomers left behind. They only want to deal with what they want to deal with. Thank you for proving my point that you only want to deal with what you want to deal with. You don't want to exist in what's happening right now and how we can address it and then move forward from it, instead of just sweeping it under the rug, which is another problem. That's the problem with the boomers. The boomers want to sweep everything up under the rug, and they just think that, oh, that's happened in the past. We have nothing to do with that until it's a data piece that can prove our argument.
Well, I would tend to agree. And the reason I tend to agree is number one, if you're talking politics, everyone has an agenda. You know, Democrats have an agenda, MAGA has an agenda, Republicans have an agenda. So you're preaching to the choir on that point. Um, I guess all I really have to say, and I think one of the reasons you and I don't agree on this stuff is I don't think Black people are a monolith. There is no we in the way you think a we is. There is no one Black community. There are Black communities, plural. What happens in a Black community in Atlanta may not necessarily be happening in a Black community in Oakland. We cannot think monolithically.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that one because Black people are not a monolith. I wouldn't disagree with you on that one.
You know what? I'm gonna give a shout out to that right there. So much disagreement, and now we agree on something. I believe this is progress, and this is what we're looking forward to. All right,
you're an optimist.
I'm definitely an optimist. Shout out to My Chaos Brew. According to the new report from Charles Schwab, almost half of boomers surveyed, 45% confessed they wanted to enjoy my money for myself while I'm still alive. What do you think about that? And shout out for the $10 ball. Thank you.
Go ahead. You can respond.
I think that Charles Schwab, being an investment firm, of course they're going to want to enjoy their money. Who doesn't? Means nothing. It's a mean. Why she took the time? At least you got something out of it. I did not.
It's data.
It's irrelevant data.
Oh,
data.
So
data. Yes.
Question. What
data for set data. Look, talk about bias. Talk about an agenda. Of course, Charles Schwab would put that out. They want their people to enjoy money, so they invest more.
It's
so
almost
presenting data that's obviously got an agenda. That's why I'm saying present a data. You got to know which data to present, and apparently, you know, there's this slapdash method of presenting data. I'm only finding it amusing.
So let me ask you, what data should we all be agreeing to, or should we all be purviewing so that it is an understood level?
I agree with you should never take data. Data doesn't tell a story. A story is given to data. Data is given a narrative. Without a narrative, data is just a bunch of numbers and data sets and stuff.
So why ask me to
remember? You've heard people talk about the data has to be interpreted.
Got you. So why ask me to present an argument that you yourself wouldn't even believe in?
You know what? Your opinion of what boomers or what the boomer mindset is, it's like an asshole. Everyone has one.
Okay, so we do name calling now. All right, so.
I said it's like. I didn't say you are one. I said your opinion is like something.
Got you. And my
opinion. That's not name calling.
No, you're good. You're good. You typically, when it comes to the dick holding that boomers and those with a boomer mindset have, what they do is they pass off everything, especially when it comes to the opportunity to be held accountable. Now, in this particular set, I'm going to ask you again, if no data can be verified or it can be believed because all data is agenda driven, what data can we look to actually say that what Gen Xers and beyond is going through is the boomers' fault or vice versa? What data can we look to?
I don't think there's any data out there that places blame on the boomers.
So then can I ask you this?
Placing blame is literally a narrative or an interpretation of data.
Got you. So when we look at the interpretation of the mass, we call the majority over the minority or reverse. When we look at what is being said on a social level, what is typically being said about boomers and what is typically being said from boomers?
I have no idea. I got a bunch of YNs complaining about boomers. That's
Mhm.
all I know. So I don't tend to listen to YNs complaining about what the boomers did. It's
So,
it's a free country. It's a
mhm,
free country. And to be honest, and I'm going to be very honest here, it
mhm.
sounds like whining to me.
Got you. So Gen Xers who talk about boomers are YNs and they're whining and complaining. And boomers who talk about the generations that came after them, they're complaining as well.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Okay. So it's all this whole dancing and ballet of shifting the blame to see who it is or what it is that's responsible, specifically sticking to the black community. We're trying to play this game of who's responsible for what's going on
Hmm.
in the black community. Well,
Yep.
wouldn't it have to be that those who came before should be responsible for those who's after?
If they're their parents.
Yeah. So the parents, the boomers, who's the parents of the Gen Xers, they should be responsible for what.
They weren't all Gen X. I mean, some of the younger boomers had millennials, I'm sure. But
Mhm.
here's the bigger point.
Okay.
You have probably heard me say this, though you probably haven't listened to my show much. I think parenting is America's biggest problem. That's like something that I say almost every show.
I do not disagree
Every
with you on that.
every problem,
Mhm.
almost every problem you can think of, from corrupt politicians to bad parenting, in generations after.
Mhm.
Parenting is America's biggest problem. Better people, better parenting will lead to better results. We've gotten way away. And then social media, that's not helping. It's making the problem worse. So I think almost every ill you can think of, black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter. Pick a
Mhm.
demographic. Bad parenting is that's America's biggest problem. No one really talks about it.
So, can you take that down for just a second? Because I think we can elaborate on this for just a second. So, thank you for substantiating and proving my point that when it comes
Okay, I
down
didn't
to,
prove anything. I said I
give me a second,
agree.
give me a
I
second, give
talk
me a
about
second,
it almost every
give me,
show.
give me a second, give me a second. So, what I'm saying is that the silent generation and the boomers, the silent generation didn't have nothing to pass off to the boomers because they were seen and not heard. The boomers, they themselves participated in a different style of parenting. The children wasn't seen and unheard; they just wasn't there because what they did was they left. What do you think that taught the Gen Xers?
I have no clue what you're even asking. My point is
When the
that
boomers,
parenting currently,
let me simplify my question. So what I'm saying is, what the boomers, or I'm sorry, what Gen Xers learned from I'm sorry, what boomers learned from the silent generation. What do you think Gen Xers picked up on from the boomers?
no idea.
Okay.
You would literally have to go family to family, house by house. But you remember at the very beginning of the show, I think Gen X have been the worst parents, worse than boomers.
They picked that up from the boomers.
No, I think they found a way to uniquely be bad. But that's
Gen
just my
Xers found a way
perspective.
to
I
uniquely be
don't
bad.
care about the data. It's really not a Gen X per se show.
Mhm.
I don't agree with much of what you're saying about, the generational pathology. Sure,
Mhm.
it's out there, but it's not all pathology. I think your argument is hyperbolic
Hyperbolic based on what? Because even if I was to
because
agree
you
with,
just want
let
to
me
make
finish.
broad generalizations.
Let me finish. So even if I was to agree with you that Gen X would be the worst form of parenting or the worst representation of parenting, they had to pick it up from somewhere. But the boomers wasn't
I
there,
don't
right?
agree that they did.
So if Gen Xers didn't pick up parenting from boomers, who did they pick up? So they just snatched out the sky these ideas of way of parenting.
Let me ask you, you're a parent, right?
Of course, yes.
Do you do uh, everything that your parents did when they raised you?
Not everything, no.
My parents, for instance, used to spank us. I've
Mhm.
never spank my son because I didn't agree with it then and I don't agree with it now. No parenting is an inexact science to begin with. They're the things that I didn't agree with, I didn't pass on in my parenting. I'm just not buying the argument that, that parenting is creating exact versions of yourself.
But that's not my argument. My argument
Okay,
is
dude.
okay, well, let me lay it out. My argument is based on this. The silent generation didn't leave anything for the boomers, right? So when we get to the boomers, because the silent generation, they was there. But what the boomers did is the boomers left. They left their children, they beat their wives, they left their
You're
families.
again, which boomers? White boomers,
again,
black
so-
boomers?
so
We
again-
agree they don't have the same experience.
But here we are. So we're in this thing of minority and majority. And I asked you earlier about the poverty line, but you didn't want to talk about it. So I'll elaborate.
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I'll talk about it and I'll elaborate. And if you want to refute it, then you can. But my thing is this: majorly people from low and middle class neighborhoods of the black community, the black neighborhoods, what they are reporting in 2025 is that those parents from that generation, the boomer generation, they're the ones that stepped off and stepped out. This is where you get these talking points that these men won't take care of their children. They will create children that they don't want to be with. They will beat their women. They will go chase around other women. They will go use drugs. They will participate in selling drugs. That's the argument that not us Gen Xers, I'm not a Gen Xer, but Gen Xers and beyond are battling on a social level. Now, when we move past that and we go to the parenting aspect, since the silent generation didn't have anything to offer to the boomers other than the fact that they was just there, the boomers didn't like the fact that their parents was there and they rebelled. So what they did with their children is they left. Also, let's not forget that you was dealing with a whole bunch of things that was going on politically. The structure of the world was coming up, infrastructure, economics, and all this, that, and the other. What the boomers decided to do was they didn't decide to fight. They decided to just become handout receivers, and they left. So my father was born in 55. My mother was born in, so my father is 6 years older than my mother. So my mother was born like 60, 68, 69. But I was spanked as a child, and I spanked my children. I don't see a problem with it because it's a form of discipline. But for other people who was raised by boomers, they didn't just spank them, they beat the hell out of them. I've also gotten beatings as well. A multitude of people have gotten beatings because what those boomers did was they didn't know how to parent because the silent generation didn't give them anything. So what the boomers did was they beat the hell out the children, they beat the women, they left and they came back and they tried to re-regulate what it is that they left behind. And that's why we have this problem. Gen X, what they had to do was they had to figure it out because the boomers didn't leave them anything behind, not economically, not family-wise, not politically, nothing. They let them nothing behind to work with. And the Gen Xers had to pick up the pieces and figure it out. I wouldn't call them bad parenting. I wouldn't call them bad parents for figuring it out. I would call them great parents because they stayed. What the boomers did was they left. Go ahead.
Oh, there's no meat on those bones. I don't have a response.
All right, so I'm gonna put up the last question, and like I said, the Cash App is open for people to contribute for a donation. The last question, it's a very long one, so I had to split it up on the banner. So the first part is this: if the next generation fails, which generation in this room carries the greater moral responsibility? The one that built the world as it is, the one that built the world as it is, or the one that understood it was broken and learned how to survive it instead of fixing it? Let's start with Stanley.
I don't think that way. I tend to think, more at the family and local community level. I don't think generationally. It's too broad a way to think. So I don't have a response to that either. I think that it will be family to family. It just one thing that I just thought of. I grew up in a middle class, all black neighborhood. First through sixth grade, I went to an all black Catholic school. In my experience, as far as who was, fathers leaving and all that, my anecdotal experience is it was almost non-existent. I literally know one friend of my family, as it turns out. I know of one divorce in the 18, 20 years that I lived uh, in my neighborhood. So my experience has been different. Without data to substantiate the argument, it's lived experience versus lived experience. So as this will turn out, it'll be a stalemate. There's been no data presented, and I
Well,
don't think. I hold on one second. I don't
mhm.
think at a generational level. I don't believe in generational blame. I think that's talking points. Give me data, or you need to start understanding, and not you specifically, cellulite. I mean, people in general need to understand that if you're going to level or make these sorts of arguments, you need to bring data to the game. Just talking about, your lived experience is not an argument. It's a story.
I would say that that's a cop out. And the reason I say that is because even when data is presented, if it's going to be refuted or not believed or not even discussed, then what data can you bring to the conversation? If no data,
It's relevant to my point.
did not interrupt you, but you got it though, right? So when we talk about data, any data that is not going to be verified and understood or agreed upon, then what data can we even possibly talk about, right? The thing is, you're asking for data to be presented on a debate or on a topic that is discussing generational problems when you yourself have no data to bring either, other than articles. The thing is, here it is in 2025, data is easily findable and researchable, but it all depends on who brings the data. So if we're going to have a conversation that's specifically built upon data and that's discussed upon data, then leave it to those who only exist within the realm of data and let them tell you that even they don't believe other people's data because their data is right. When we're talking about on a social level, generationally, to answer your question, Savage, on a social level, it falls on that generation. If the generation after me fails, it's my generation's fault. But the generation before me, they're responsible for my generation failing. But also on just an anecdotal or individual basis, it's your own fault. That's something that we had. That's something that I picked up from my parents. That's something that a lot of people picked up during the Gen X timeline. And that was, if you are responsible for yourself, they got that for the boomers. That's learned behavior, that you're responsible for you, because the boomers was responsible for themselves.
Okay, well, my response, I think thinking at a generational level is a fallacy. It's not something I do. I need more precision and critical thinking to be applied when I make these talking points. So that's pretty much my response.
Critical thinking is being implied when we can look at based on how it is that the country has been moving since the 30s, that we can look down and see that all the way up until the 60s and moving beyond, that there has been a disconnect. But even going back to the dawn of time itself, the old will always challenge the young, and the young will always challenge the old. But the problem is that the young is bringing something new to the table, and the old is saying that we want to keep the table as it is. Why would we in the new generation want to sit at the table with the raggedy legs, with roaches crawling all around, and with flies all in the air? We want to go to the new table, the better table, the one that we not only that we prepared, but that we also evolved from. And in the boomer generation, they says that no, our table is better. Based on what? Nothing that the boomers can present, or those from the boomer mindset, nothing that they can present sounds good, because if it did, then they would have made it work. There's no data that is representable that can be brought forth to say that this thing that the black community or any community in America, I'm talking about specifically in America, is going through right now is based on, oh, it's your individual. No, this was back when y'all left. This is back when people of that mindset said, hey, that's not my problem. I'm not paying attention to that. The reason you're not paying attention to that because it don't matter to you. Just like what the boomers said. They didn't care about them kids. They didn't care about their wife. They didn't care about nobody else's money but their money. As you look into Gen X, this is why they picked up the laws and said, no, I'm going to do everything for my kids that my parents didn't do, from the silent generation and the boomer generation. I'm not going to do anything that they was doing because it didn't work. Look how I turned out. And then here he is in my generation, the millennial generation, where we're saying that we're going to pick up a few of the things that the Gen Xers left behind, because what they left us was with hustle. They left us with education. They left us with foundation. They left us with better research tactics. They left us with a better work ethic. They left us with a better sense of understanding that we as individuals are not a monolith, that we need to be bettering ourselves for our family, not bettering ourselves for ourselves.
I guess my response would be, the old disagree with the young and the young disagree with the old. That's not critical thinking. It's thinking in aphorisms. That's my response.
Cool.
Okay. I appreciate everybody. So I'm amazed that it went this well. But now we're gonna try to have an open panel. Thank you, Stanley. Thank you, Cellular. What is your final word for this discussion that we have before we bring everybody up?
And I'm amazed that this kind of argument, this thinking at a generational level, placing blame on a whole generation, I'm surprised it's even taken seriously. I don't.
I wouldn't say it's placing blame. I would just say that it's calling it to accountability, the responsibility that was left behind by that specific generation. And why it is that Gen Xers have been fighting the battle that the boomers left behind. That the women of today are complaining about the men of yesterday, and while the men of today are still trying to fight to get away from the perception of what the men was supposed to be back during that time.
Sounds good. Shout out to Stanley and Cellulite. Nice conversation and debate. It was civil, beautiful. But now it's time to get the party started. We're gonna open up the panel.
Before you get the party started, I'm not in the mood for a whole lot of fuckery once it starts.
No, I don't believe it's gonna be fuckery. I just, it's a party started.
Well, if MCB comes up, there'll be a certain amount, and I'm not in that mood. I have things to do. So when it gets that hot, expect me to bow out, and y'all can have it. But I'll stay till it gets there. And I'm going to turn off the camera. I'll be right back.
Well, yeah,
gotta take a bathroom break.
All right, I got you.
Sweet. Well, my wife is welcome everywhere. I'm welcome. So
of course,
my wife comes up, she's wonderfully welcome.
I'm just gonna try.
I didn't say she couldn't come up. I said I don't have to be here.
That's cool. Then that's up
just
to
give me a second to put slots up for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick. I'm gonna get the smallest slot over the corner because I'm not gonna do too much talking. I want y'all to just talk and say what you gotta say, and let's have the conversation amongst each other. Hold on one second. I'm just gonna put some slots up.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Hold on, she's gonna be up in 1 second. Sorry about that. It's taking so long. Sorry. I haven't set spots for everybody yet, so that's why I didn't. That's why it's taking a minute. All right, here you go. Raw G and the motherfucking Beetle, dude. Hold up.
Hey.
Hey, baby.
Hi, my love. Hey, Savage. Hello, family.
Y'all are cute. Where we at? There we go. What's going on, Raw G?
Nothing much. I mean, we want to talk about data points and, how the boomers potentially fail future generations. One major point is the birth control technology revolution, right? Because that actually happened in 1964, which we see a sharp decline in marriages and family structure. And we see the rise of single parent households and an increase in dependency on social welfare programs. So that's a data point that is irrefutable. When we start to look at the after effects of the Vietnam War and the soldiers going to war and coming back to no jobs and poor veteran affairs, you understand what I'm saying? That is a data point that is irrefutable, and that is from the boomer generation. So therefore, them allowing those things to come into pass into play, even the failure of the civil rights movement in 1968, Gen X were still toddlers at the time. How it fell apart was due to the boomers not picking up the mantle and continuing on the journey, specifically speaking about Black boomers, which Stanley likes to focus on. They didn't pick up the baton and continue the journey moving forward because they had several things inhibiting them from reaching wealth, greatness, and from keeping their families together. When we tie that also in with Blaxploitation and how pimp culture and heroin and CONTELPRO also flooded our situation, just the Black boomers gave way to that. They gave into those pressures, and they absolutely failed Gen X, Gen Z, millennials, YNs, and everybody else because they taught that the street life was a culture in which we should evolve into and the hustle, and they went far away from the family infrastructure. Before the birth control technology revolution, Black families were one of the highest rates of marriages and family structure. So boomers specifically allowed feminism to overtake patriarchal interventions, which has also been of major detriment to societal endeavors. And shout out to Angry Snowman. No fault divorce all started in the 60s. I'm just saying real quick. We talk about data. Hi, Nightish, and shout out to Nightish because Nightish has shown on several occasions, which is why I love Nightish so much. So much. He showed you
Shout out to Nightish.
what Vietnam did to our people and the boomers, what it did to our families, what it did to our neighborhoods, what it did to our culture. I'm gonna be quiet though. Go ahead, Nightish.
Oh, hello everyone. Nightish, turn your mic.
Yeah, your mic is low, Nightish.
Real low.
Super low.
Turn your.
Let me see. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. It didn't seem like Stanley wanted to debate. He just kind of like said everything was irrelevant because it isn't the way he likes to discuss it.
Well, it wasn't really a debate. It was a conversation, and they had their points, and that's what I really wanted, just to get the points out, not an argument and this and that, but, it is what it is.
I like it to be like a story. You have the thesis, then you have the antithesis, then you're supposed to have the synthesis and conclusion. So it's stuff that, Sale said, and it's stuff that Stanley said that should have somehow came together. So he say he doesn't like it to be generational because that's too broad. He liked to break it down. I think it should have been places where they came together instead of just be like what he said, a stalemate. It shouldn't be stalemates. And especially casual, comfortable stalemates, because then what came out of it.
Well, here's the thing, right? What Stanley presented is that he wanted data to be discussed, but when data was presented, he didn't want to discuss it. And the thing is, I can only participate where you exist. If you don't want to exist in the realm of us actually discussing all the endeavors that came up percentage-wise on a minority versus majority basis of the 50s and the 60s, and how it is that dwindled down into Gen X and beyond, what are we here for? It's not about casting blame. It's about addressing what's actually happened before.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Also, when he kept saying,
"Do I get to talk?" You go ahead, Nightish. When you're done, I would like to respond. Still there?
Good.
He's still there. He's just not moving.
Night, finish say what you gotta say, Night.
This
Just
man
don't
literally
let him
said,
do
"Can he
it.
get to talk?" I shut up for him to talk anyway to keep on. You can't
Oh
be.
well, hey, I
Whatever.
don't like interrupting
I
someone mid
stopped
sentence.
completely. I stopped
Okay,
completely.
good. Then I will just basically disagree that data was presented. Stories were presented, words were presented, data was not presented.
Data was definitely
I
presented
agree.
when I said 55%
Data,
of the
your
party.
understanding of
55.
data is different than mine, then maybe that's why we're disagreeing.
So let me ask you a question.
When I brought up
This is
the
hold on for a
from
second, baby.
Okay,
Hold on,
you
hold on,
didn't
hold on for a
present
second.
data.
Wait, hold on. Let
Hold on,
me
before
ask you a
you
question.
continue, I want to do this. Those who are in the chat, I gave out the privilege of putting it up or stuff like that, but I do need that Cash App hit. If you do want your comment, it's important. You want your comment up, hit that Cash App up, and I'll put that comment up there. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. So when I gave you the data that 55% of Black people was below the poverty line prior to the evolution of the country, moving forward into the 70s and the 80s, and how divorce rates were declining and how the unemployment rate was declining, you didn't even want to discuss that.
Okay.
But
Oh,
my
I
question,
get it.
I'm
You
not done
think
yet. My
you
question
I
is my question.
understand.
Hold
I
on, let
get
me
it
get to my
now.
let me get to my question. My question is, do you believe that the data that only you researched it should be reviewed, or should we review all data?
What I believe is you saying 55% is not data. Where's the chart? I'm
That
not
was
going to rely. I'm not going to rely on your memory because I don't even think that 55% of the Black community was not below the poverty line in the 60s. I know that just because that's almost impossible.
gotcha.
However, but see, I get it now. You saying a number, you're calling it data. My standard of data is a lot higher than what Cellulite quotes or says.
Black individuals had record low official poverty rate in 2022 comparative to 1945. You can look at, oh, I'm sorry, not
Where does
1945,
it say
1959.
55%?
1 second, it said 1959. Sorry about that. So if I can share the screen, it says poverty rate for Black individuals 1959 to 2021. There is a chart.
Okay, right
Mm.
now, you can go to blackdemographics.com in 2025.
Mhm.
60, I think it's the number 68% of people are working class and above.
You asked for a chart. Where's the
And
chart?
there's working poor. Where's the chart?
Okay, well, no, I'm not including the working poor. I'm talking working class and above.
Gotcha. But
Working, I would even consider the working poor below the poverty line. But that's just my personal thing. So, but the number it's 60. It's above 65%. Now, I would love the number to be in the 80s. It's not, but I don't buy the number. And
this is from
you
census.gov. Are we
put the
can we not?
link in the back, and I'll have a look at it.
Oh,
But
so that was my
you
question.
saying 50, you saying 55% is not data. What you just put up, I would consider data. Please put the link in the back so I can review it. Maybe you're right.
But
But
now
this is
but
Maybe,
we get to,
ma'am, let me finish, please.
but you
Maybe
never
you'll
answered my
teach
question.
me. Maybe you'll teach me something. I'm not above learning,
Gotcha.
but
So you never answered my
even
question.
today, better than 65% of Black people are working class and above. I think working poor is below the poverty line, but I don't think the feds agree with that.
But here's the problem. This comes from the census.gov, but this goes back to my question. Is your understanding of data the only data that we can believe in your understanding? Or
Dude,
can we just let me
it's
finish my question? Let me finish my question. Is your understanding the understanding that we can go off of, or is that the only understanding that you can go off of?
I don't care if you believe my numbers. I haven't presented any.
So then it can't be a common
Okay,
base.
son, you don't
I'm
get
not your
what I'm
son.
saying.
Stop referring to me as your fucking son. I'm not your son. So
My bad. My
gotcha.
bad. It
So
sounds like I'm talking to my 19-year-old.
I'm nowhere near 19. First of all. Second of all, this is the problem again with boomers. Y'all think everybody is below y'all. And that's why I asked you, are you only going by
Well, I think your main
understanding?
problem is
Are
you think
going
I'm
by,
a boomer.
are you going by your no, it's boomer, you have boomer mentality. You was born right on the cusp of boomerism. But this is the problem. The problem is you're only going by your understanding and not common understanding. If you want
Well, let me help you out
if you won't
here.
go by
Oh
the
my
census,
God.
I asked you to put the link in the back. Dude, the Census Bureau is something I would actually trust. If the chart says 55% of
right
black
there.
people were below the poverty line, if the Census Bureau says it,
It's
then
right there.
I will buy it.
Right there. So
And
but here's
even
the
Put the
thing.
link. Thank you for the link. I'll review it later. I'm not doing it now.
even the data point that I gave you from Charles Schwab, you wanted to intimate
No,
that there.
Charles Schwab.
Don't interrupt
Charles
me.
Schwab
Please don't
has an
interrupt me.
agenda.
That's rude.
Charles
That's rude. We're
Schwab
having a
has an
conversation.
agenda.
Operate with
I
decorum, sir.
think it's. I
Operate
don't
with
care.
decorum, sir.
It's
Operate
Well, let
with
me do
decorum,
this.
sir.
Let me do this.
Operate with decorum, sir. Operate with
Okay.
decorum, sir. So
Okay.
where
If I
Charles Schwab,
if I
where Charles
cannot say
Schwab,
what I'm not
if
You
I'm
listening
can't
too
talking
long
interrupt.
and I'm
winded.
in
You
the
can't
middle
interrupt.
of a
Okay.
That means you can't
conversation,
Savage.
I'm
interrupt.
literally saying
That means
something
you
and
can't
you're
interrupt.
interrupting. It's like I'm
Okay.
talking
I
to my
already
8-year-old. It's
already
like I'm talking to
responded
my
to the.
8-year-old.
I've
No, you
given
didn't,
my.
because I'm
You know what?
saying something
You
and you're
Exactly.
Listen, y'all. Listen. It. I don't even like to hear this shit either. Like the back and forth and yelling. I want to hear what y'all gotta say. If we can, if you hear someone say something, let's just sit back if you need to and let the conversation happen.
Well,
Let's
that
just
was
let the
clearly
conversation
Stanley,
happen.
though.
Huh?
That was clearly Stanley,
I
though.
know it is. I'm just saying I can't talk with both of them talking. So I had to drop. So I'm just my bad, Raw G, my bad, Stanley. I'm just trying to get the conversation. If we can argue later. I just want to hear it.
Listen, Savage.
So this
I
is the
just got
point.
up here. I said 2 words. He cut me off. Raw B said 2 words. He cut her off. He filibustering.
All right,
Exactly.
so next time,
So
Stanley, if you cut off, if you cut them off, I will have to drop you so they can say it.
good.
So
You
this
know
is the
what?
point that I was making about the Charles Schwab statistic that I put up earlier. Charles Schwab, that article, while you may feel that it is skewed because they're an investment bank, they actually pulled their research from the US Census Bureau and from the Global Wealth Levels Alliance. Like, these are actual studies that they use to pull their information from. So just because you have a prejudice or a bias from a source does not mean that that is how you vet or venerate a source to make sure that it's peer reviewed and accurate in information. That is an accurate estimation from the Global Wealth Report.
Can I respond?
Now I'm done.
I've already given my thoughts on the Charles Schwab data. I don't know why I have to repeat myself. I haven't changed my opinion.
So is it the data that you're refuting, or just because it's Charles Schwab?
Data has interpretations. Charles Schwab, they may have pulled it from credible sources, but that boomers want to enjoy their money coming from an investment firm. Yeah, I expect that people rich enough to invest with Charles Schwab want to enjoy their money. That's why people invest money. The data is it's data. It means nothing to my argument. Thank you for the data.
Yeah, and Stanley, you didn't have to repeat yourself because yes, we heard you say that this is like the 3rd or 4th time. Savage, can you pull up what I have? Because this is just a general consensus about that conversation. This thing I have in the back. If you just Google it, this is what pops up.
You shared your screen?
It's in the back. Yeah, it's right here. I see it at the bottom right here. I'll drop it and pull it back up.
Yeah, all right. Share the screen real quick.
Deacon says, "Is this a debate?" It was supposed to be a debate.
Where'd you go?
Nidish is still there. You just didn't add a slot for him.
No, he had a slot.
Oh, Nidish
Is this what are you using StreamYard? Or are you using
Yeah, I'm
something
using
different?
StreamYard. That's all I got for right
Really?
now. I do have
You're getting things out of StreamYard I don't know how to do.
Okay, you can take me down and bring up Nidish then.
No. I got plenty of room for everybody. I just don't know where he went. Maybe did I drop him?
No, he said he was no, he said he was going to leave and come back because he wanted to be sure that you could see the screen that he was sharing. But this is the thing, like there. Oh, go ahead, Nightdish. I'll be quiet.
Nightdish, I got. If you want to share your screen, I got you. All right, here we go. Hold on.
I got this back there now.
There you go.
So right at the top right here, it says, this is just a general consensus. It says from 1959, 1970, Black community declined from a 55% to below 35%. The Black poverty rate stayed above 30% until 1994. The Black official poverty measure OPM rate has been below 20% for the past 4 years. So that's just the general consensus of it. Then it got all the other stuff, Schwab and all the other stuff, the gov and all that other stuff. So that's just a general consensus. So when people having like a discussion, if you can't go off the general consensus, it seems like it's a personal thing. It's because that's just what they say across the board.
Okay, let me help you out here now.
You already responded.
Oh no, I want to respond. May I? Consensus, a consensus is just a consensus. It's not hard data.
So when we're sitting there and we're looking at articles and different things, right? Even the articles that you presented, Stanley, every person that is writing a article has a bias. They have an agenda in what they're writing. So one could arguably say that what you brought up here is inconsequential because it's not verifiable, indisputable data, right? So when you're making your argument that, hold on, let me finish what I'm saying so that you can respond appropriately. I want you to listen to hear and not listen to listen.
Okay, I when you just get to your point.
When
brother.
Get to her point.
You are loud. First of all, you are loud, loquacious, and very often wrong. So the fact that you're telling someone to get to the point instead of just listening to be able to respond it's laughable to me. In any event, like how I said, when you are sitting there and you are saying to someone, well, you don't have any data. You don't have any data, and then they provide data, and you want to say, well, that data is not good enough. That shows that you don't really have skills in debate because you're not presenting counter data to refute the point that they're making. That's the issue.
Got it. So I don't do debates. I'm not in high school. Okay. I didn't present any data. I admit. And there is nothing saying that you have to agree what I present. I don't come to things like this to convince people that I'm right. The people in the chat matter. You're not going to change your opinion. I'm not going to change mine. Hopefully you understand that I didn't come up here to change your mind. I came up here to present my case.
Okay.
And no, I didn't. I did not present data.
So what case did you present?
That thinking generationally is not what I do. I don't think it's the right way to present an argument. I don't think generations, I think it's too broad a way to place blame. And my second point is that saying boomer includes a whole lot of demographics that did not go through Jim Crow. The Black boomers are a specific section of boomers that get accepted. Black boomers did not have the economic or political or social power to shape things. They did not have a lot of generational wealth to pass down. I think, and I'm going to be honest, and it's not going to make you happy when I say it, I think your argument's a muddle. I don't even think it's and I'm responding to Cellulite, his statement. I don't even think it's a generational argument you're making. It's a muddle of misunderstood sociology, misunderstood economics, misunderstood history run through your personal experience. And I don't think it's a good argument and not one that I need consider seriously.
Based upon what?
So
Because one, you don't know my
But I
personal history.
literally
Hold on.
just told you what I'm basing it
I
on.
got you.
I
So
think
based,
it's
but
a
wait, but Hus,
model
wait.
of
You know, wait.
misunderstood
Can I
history.
respond?
Yeah,
You
man.
just
But
got done
wait, you
talking.
asked
You
me
just got
what?
done.
Yeah, let her
I got you.
respond. Let her
Right.
respond.
So I asked you based upon what, and you said based upon
Okay,
what.
based
You said
upon
now,
what? I
right?
just
Bro,
told you
Now
let
what.
him
stop. Now
respond.
stop. You don't know my personal history. You don't know my
Don't
background.
care
You
about
don't.
it.
Okay,
I don't
so
care about it.
with that, then you can't base my argument on your understanding of my life. And this is what's.
Oh my
And
Lord.
but wait, Stanley. I respectfully appreciate everything that you just did right there. You proved the reason why we're here. Older black men, specifically those from the boomer generation, because you're born right on the cusp of it. You
So
don't
I'm a boomer,
care.
not
Wait,
Gen
stop.
X.
You're born right on the cusp of it. I just said right on the cusp of it. Please listen to what I'm saying. I don't think I'm
Dude,
speaking in riddles here. It's a simple thing that older black men who don't care, never gave a damn, never will give a damn, y'all don't want to listen because y'all don't care. Going back to the point of you don't know my personal life. You don't know what class or citizenship, I'm sorry, not citizenship. You don't know what social class I grew up in. You don't know what area of poverty or not poverty I grew up in. You don't know what my family been through. But because you won't even give an ear to listen, why should I tell you? But when we get back to why we are here today, it is primarily because of what you just exemplified, that y'all don't care. But even more so, even when presented with information that proves why it is that I'm here, you will still refute it unless it's your understanding and it's your information, which goes back to the point. Thank you for shaking your head. Yes, we'll go back to the point. Old niggas don't give a damn. Y'all don't care, and y'all didn't care then. Y'all not going to care now. So why should we? Even more so, going to the point that it's because of the boomer and the boomerism and those that was born on the cusp of boomer of the boomer generation. Y'all didn't give a fuck. But yet here y'all are in 2025, December 23rd, trying to regulate how I or others of who are younger than you should move unless we go by your standard. When your standard didn't work, if your standard worked, we would be where y'all are now today. But we're not, because y'all didn't leave us nothing behind. The only thing y'all cared about was yourselves. And I'm done. Go ahead, baby.
And then also, you said that Black boomers didn't have to deal with Jim Crow, which is another fallacy coming out of your mouth.
No, I
Because
did not say that.
that's
I
what
said
you
they
said.
did. I
Look at
said
that.
they
Every time I'm
did
saying
have to.
something,
Okay,
every time I'm
Brother
saying something,
Savage, if I'm
every
gonna be
time I'm saying
misquoted, I'll
something,
leave now.
every time I'm
They
saying
did
something,
have to.
every time
See,
I'm saying something,
Savage,
you never want to let
I'm
me
gonna
finish.
leave.
And I am
I
going
will
to
not be
still cook
misquoted.
you.
I
Maybe you should.
will not be misquoted.
Listen, if you are, just wait for it to be done and then explain.
No, I'm not going to wait. Get it right the first
You're
time.
going to wait.
Black boomers had Jim Crow to deal with. White boomers did not. That's what I said.
Try to be nice.
First of all, what you said was also that they didn't have any political power.
They did.
Which is where I was going to. They did it well. Then I would say that nobody should ever take seriously anything that you say, because Black people had the most. Here we go. Why are you interrupting me, sir? Why are you interrupting me?
Oh boy.
What is wrong with you that whenever somebody is making a point, you can't ever just sit and listen? You can't ever just sit and listen because you know that you're wrong. Please share the screen. Please share the screen, Savage. Please share the screen, Savage. Please share the screen, Savage. Please share the screen, Savage.
I won't be.
Oh my God. Then don't come back. Share the screen, please. Ridiculous. So the Montgomery bus boycott, 1955 to 1956, that's dead smack in the middle of the boomer generation. What are we talking about? For real, for real. Like, get into it. I know that some Black people of a certain age want to diminish, minimize, and talk about the lack of political power, but the civil rights movement was one of the biggest power plays that Black people ever pulled in America. Martin Luther King from 46 to 64. All of this history that you can still go see, and I will show y'all more, but I don't want to mess around and show y'all something y'all need to see. But at the end of the day, Black people had all of their power during the civil rights movement. The North Atlantic Star was being distributed and unifying Black people. Malcolm X, NOY, Martin Luther King. The Black Panthers were actually initiated by Boomer initiatives and everything else. Fred Hampton, and political power was used to change laws to actually integrate Black people into the school system, to end segregation, to stop people from having to drink from different fountains, to stop Black people from having to walk into the back of the buildings and everything else while being under severe torture from their oppressors. So you're not going to sit there and diminish the political power of a group of people. You out here trying to act like these people just didn't exist, and they very much did.
Can I respond now?
Yes.
Okay. The civil rights movement was about social power. How many people were in Congress during the civil rights movement? When I say political power, I literally mean that, there were enough people in Congress. Why do you think there was a civil rights movement? Because Black people didn't have political power. You know what? That's all I have to say about it. The reason there was a civil rights movement because Black people didn't have political power. And there's a book that I keep talking about that no one seems to want to read called The Loneliness of the Black Republican. I actually think that political power in the Black community only exists in a couple places in the United States, even today. And it really only shows up occasionally. Georgia in 2020 was one of the best examples. There was no political power in the 60s. They were fighting for political power. That's how I take it.
Did they get it?
Yes, they did.
Well, God damn it. Was the question to me?
I was saying something. You didn't have to curse at me, sir, because you don't want me to curse
Okay,
at you.
no, I'm
You don't want me to curse at you.
Dude,
Don't curse at me
okay,
again.
you're right. I apologize. Was that question to me, Nightish, or Mind Chaos?
I'm talking to you.
Okay, what was the question? After
the civil rights movement, did more opportunities in the government and across the board happen?
Yes, after the civil rights movement, not during it.
Yes. So
and even now, I'm not sure we have. I literally just said that, the flex of political power is not a consistent thing in the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia 2020 was one of those times, but it's occasional. Joe Biden winning the nomination in South Carolina in 2020 was a second. 2020 was probably the most political power flex that the Black community has ever had. Now, I could be wrong. It's just off the top of my head. There are more opportunities. That is a good way of viewing it, but there was no political power in the 1960s. We were fighting.
So what I'm saying is that after that the majority of those people that got those positions were boomers, and them old ass motherfuckers are still in the government and they dying of old age.
Was that to me? Can I respond now?
The other thing about the conversation about white boomers versus Black boomers, I'm not talking about white boomers. I'm talking about Black boomers. And Black boomers, the wealth that they have, I wouldn't compare it to white wealth because white wealth is 10 times it. But the wealth that is in this community is being held by them.
So?
Well, that's keeping everybody else back. You can't hold all.
I don't agree with that.
I'm cool. I'm not trying to. You said you're not going to change your mind. I agree with you.
All I said is I don't agree with that. I didn't say more.
But you shouldn't be saying anything because when you talk,
I can respond.
My God,
You can
today.
respond if someone asks you a question. I'm making statements.
Okay,
Hold
son,
on.
you
Savage,
no,
can
no,
you
no, no, no,
share?
no. I will not be disrespected.
No.
I will not be
Stanley,
disrespected.
You can't be a whole
Jesus
minute.
Christ.
listen.
I don't like
Nice,
crying grown men.
I got it. Stanley, you're the only one interrupting motherfuckers. Cut that shit the fuck out.
Well,
and
you know what? It's the way I operate. If it's too
you're
inconvenient,
on my platform. You're on my platform.
okay. Well,
So this is
Sab,
what we need to do. On my platform, we wait for the conversation. If we've been doing it the whole time, why now you can't do it? Cut this shit the fuck out. Let's go.
Savage, can you please share my screen?
Oops, where is it? Sorry, hold on one second. My bad.
Thank
Boomers
you,
gonna
Savage.
boom, baby.
Savage, I'll give this till the top of the hour, then I'm out of here.
So Stanley said that Black people had no political power during the Boomer generation. Stanley, once again, is categorically incorrect. Brown versus Board of Education was passed in 1954. Black political power. The Civil Rights Act of 1957, created by the Civil Rights Division with the department in the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights during the Boomer generation. Black political power. The 24th Amendment, ratified in January 1964. My God, today, Black political power. The Civil Rights Act of 64, Voting Act Right of 65, Loving versus Virginia 67, Civil Rights Act of 68. Like, what are we talking about? Black people had plenty of political power. Was it in the new neophyte stage? Absolutely it was. But this is the birthplace of political power with Black people. So when people try to sit there and tell you who you are as a Black person and your legacy, don't believe them and do your own research.
All right. Did you want to respond, Stanley? You're muted.
He's talking on mute. Stanley, you muted. Stanley,
Oh,
you muted.
I'm sorry. How many Black Supreme Court justices were on the Supreme Court in 1954? How many Black members of Congress voted for the Civil Rights Act? That's my definition of political power. What you're describing is a moral suasion. And if you ever read a book, you would understand my point. We convinced white people that, hey, what you're doing is bad. I will also add, if you actually go and research Brown versus Board, there was a whole lot of international pressure for the Supreme Court to move in that direction. I think it was Nikita Khrushchev or somebody who said, and I'm very much paraphrasing, but what we were fussing, America was fussing at the USSR about how they're treating and, the freedom and the civil rights. And they go, why are you fussing at us? Look at the way you treat your Negroes. Okay, there was no political power. There was moral suasion. We were convincing all the non-Black Supreme Court justices that this is a problem. We convinced that the Congress and the Senate, well, the Senate and the House of Representatives, to vote for the Civil Rights Act. There were no Blacks there voting for that. That is my definition of political power. When you are actually in Congress or you're actually on the Supreme Court, that's political power, in my opinion. Now, you can disagree. We'll just have to agree to disagree on that.
Savage, share my screen, please. Savage, share my screen, please.
I think Savage stepped away. He said he'd be right back. He says, please remain civil.
Oh, yeah. So let me say this then.
So hold on a second. Okay. Louis Stokes, born in Cleveland, Ohio, was the first African-American and last elected to Congress to represent the state of Ohio, serving 15 terms from 69 to 1909. First elected in 68. Political power of the Boomer generation. Charles Rangel.
Which one of them voted for the Civil Rights Act?
Why won't you let her finish?
Why don't you just let her finish? Like you always do that. Just let her finish.
Oh,
If
my
you want to,
Lord.
if you want to rebut or refute, then wait till she get done.
And a
it's not
good
my
book,
panel, it's not my show, but he did step away. He said just be civil. So just wait till she get
right?
done.
And a good book for you to read, Stanley, to know about the power that Black people have is Light, Bright, and Damn Near White. It's a book about Black people through history and power. Did you know that before 68 and before the Jim Crow era, there was Black people in Congress?
Yeah, during Reconstruction.
Oh, but you said Black people had no political power. So that means that
They
you
didn't in
represent.
the 60s, they did not. After 1877, Black people did not either.
Here's the thing. The boomer generation is from 46 to 64.
Okay, are you not getting my point?
I think
No,
you're
I'm
missing her
not,
point.
because you're
Okay,
you're
she
missing
has
the
no
point.
point. I'm not missing
Okay,
anything.
well, no, I have very much a point. You just don't
I
want
don't
to
agree that you
believe
do.
that. Well, that's your opinion to have. Like, I'm not going to argue with you. At the end of the day, the facts remains that Black people were very much present in power. And Black people had political power, even if they were not indoctrinated into government facilities and standpoints. They still were moving the goalposts. Even when you talk about, well, we convinced the white people. I get it. You're
Oh
stuck in
my
a white
God.
supremacist and oppressed mind state. However, being able to sway the power to give you what you want is in fact power in and of itself. You can't
Baby,
sit
It is
there.
power, it is
baby,
not
also, hold on for a second.
political
Hold on for a
power.
second. Hold on for a second. Baby, your microphone is cracking real bad. Like every
I
time
know,
you go
because
to
I had
talk.
turned it. Yeah, I turned it up when he was yelling over me. You know, I ain't going for that. But
Okay, you know what? I said I was going to stay till the top of the hour. I got
All
14
right,
minutes
take it easy.
left.
Okay.
okay,
Who
right.
cares? Why do you do
Yeah.
that? Don't nobody care. Leave if you're gonna leave. I hate when people make announcements.
Right.
Who
Here's the
gives a fuck? It's your panel.
But listen, I know it's not mine, and nobody cares about that statement either. My thing is this: if you saying from the beginning when we got up here that we're gonna have to agree to disagree, stay there. We're gonna agree to disagree. We have an audience watching, so they get to hear you say what you're saying, and some of it might be valid, and some of it might be BS. I think you up here thinking you everybody father. That's why you keep calling everybody your son. I'm only 6 years younger than you.
Well, Nidus, I hope after this we're still friends.
Why would
Well, I'm nobody's friend. I don't even care about that. I don't care about friendship. I don't care about happiness. I care about some money.
Well, that's
I gotta
obvious.
eat tomorrow. I don't
Okay,
give a
but
damn about none of that.
the most
But at the same time, we had world power, because at the time that this was happening, what was the world saying? The whole world's watching. The whole world's watching what you're doing to them people on the William Pettis Bridge that's dressing their Sunday best, no tattoos, no bonnets, no nothing else. So if we was at our best and getting dogs and stuff put on us, that's why some people's revolt to that is, I'm not going to do that no more. I'm going to wear my bonnet. I'm gonna wear my braids. I'm gonna wear my nappy hair like you're doing right now, like you being Frederick Douglass. That's as in revolt. So yes,
so now it's personal attacks.
Because of that, that's
a man with no hair is going to talk about my hair.
When those changes happen, the people that benefited the most from that was the boomers. And they're still holding on to
I
it.
have no clue
Jesse
why the
Jackson,
boomers are even in. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
You said the people who benefited the most was the boomers, and what they do with it?
They kept it, and they still holding on to it to this day.
and they never passed it down, right?
Never.
Ain't that a bitch?
And Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. served 12 terms as Harlem's representative in the House of Representatives from 1945 to 1971. He was very much Black.
Oh, well, you know what? You're right about that. One congressman does make political power.
Political power during the Jim Crow era, where there should have been no
Okay,
Black
I just
people in
don't
Congress.
agree with your argument.
And you don't have to. But see,
Now, I do agree. I do agree that there was power. I wouldn't call it political power. It was moral suasion.
So are you here to talk politics, or are you here to talk about the topic?
No, you know what? The debate is over.
Okay, so but right now,
Well, I guess you can talk about anything you want.
Okay, but what we're dealing with right now is how it is that during this generation, this boomer generation, how they held on to this shit, and how those who came afterwards had to deal with the shit that they left behind, which was nothing. That's what we're dealing with.
Can I ask you a question?
first Black American to serve a full term in the United States Senate, served from 1875 to 1881 during slavery.
Not
My
the
God,
60s,
today.
though.
My God, today
But
you said
even
Black
when,
people
even
had no
when,
political power.
Okay, I did
even
not
when, but hold
say
on, Stanley,
that.
Stanley, even when facts is being presented to you, you say I don't
Okay,
believe you.
dude, y'all are just, dude.
But it's fact.
Okay,
This is
I
not this
never
wait,
said
wait, this
Black
is
people never had political
well, you
power.
also
I'm
said there's no
saying
such thing as black
not
boomers, but then now
during
today
the
you bring in
civil
black
rights
boomers.
movement.
Yep.
Gotcha. But you also said that there's no such thing as black boomers, but now today you bring an article about
No,
black boomers.
You did say that.
well, I said that if it were left up to me, they wouldn't be called boomers.
Thank you. But guess
Yeah,
what?
if it
I'm
were
so
left up
glad.
to me,
Wait,
but
wait.
it's not.
Respectfully, I'm so glad you said if it were left up to you. You do
Yes.
understand that's a boomer mindset, right?
Dude, I don't even think
No, I'm not.
you
I'm
know
not.
what
I'm
you're
not trying to
talking
work.
about.
Listen.
Don't
I'm
tell
not.
me.
No,
Why
I'm
would
not.
I agree with something
Listen.
you know I don't agree with?
But that's the boomer mindset. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to get you to
Motherfucker,
understand.
you're the first person I've
Oh, okay,
ever
so now I'm a
heard use
motherfucker.
the
Well, you're
term.
absolutely right. I do fuck mothers, unlike you who fuck fathers. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day,
Why are you getting all belligerent? Why
because
are you
you're not
getting
listening.
belligerent?
Because you're not listening. You're not
I
listening.
don't
Because you're summarily
agree. That doesn't
disrespectful.
mean I'm not listening.
Because listen,
It
you
doesn't mean I'm
you
not
and your
listening.
you
I
you and
just
your
don't agree.
got you, but you in your position, even when presented with common base facts, which is not based in bias, you still don't agree.
I
So
don't think you're presenting
even
facts.
even if someone shows
I
you
think you're
1 plus
presenting
1,
your opinion.
even if someone shows
And
you
he
that
still won't
1
stop
plus,
talking over people.
even when
I'm
someone
going to
shows
do
you,
it
even when someone
when I
shows
think
you
it's
that
Disrespect the
1,
man
even
show.
even when 1 plus 1 equals 2, you will say it don't equal 2 until I say it equal 2. That's the boomer problem.
Okay.
And
I
you
don't
were
think
Right.
there's a
And
boomer. I don't think. Oh, wait, are you done?
boomer
Can I
mentality
respond to
is
that? Or
mindset
does everyone else
associated.
have to talk over me? People are talking over me. You were
the
talking
first
to
one
me
to bring
directly,
profanity in
and
the
I can't
conversation
respond.
also. And
Let me know when
you
I
were
can
up here the whole
respond.
time
Someone
and I
let me
just
know when
got
I can
up here,
respond.
you were the
I'll
first one to
wait.
talk over me. And then when you talked over me, I said, I'm going to stop.
Okay,
Then
I
you
don't
had
know
to
what
ask
the
me
fuck
questions
your
after I
problem
stopped.
is, Nightish, but you need to
whining.
listen
I
quickly.
can't stand seeing a grown man whine and cry
I
like
don't
you.
give a fuck what you
Stop.
can't
And there
stand
you go
seeing.
cussing again.
Dude, you
There
are
you go
being
cussing again.
annoying, Nightish. Stop
What?
being annoying.
I just got, how could I be annoying? And I
Stop
just got
talking
here?
out of turn. Let
What?
Cellulite
You
and
mean
I
I'm doing
talk.
what you're doing and that's annoying?
Oh, yeah, don't do what I
I'm doing
do
exactly
then.
what you're doing, so that's
Don't
annoying
do
to
what
you.
I do then.
How can you be everybody's dad when you calling everybody's son? And if they do what you do,
Okay, you know
tell
what?
them
I
not to
haven't
do it.
called you
That's a
son.
boomer
Did I
mindset.
call you son?
That's a boomer
Why are you
mindset.
No,
defending
because you
everyone
just
You call me
else?
son all the time.
you respect people within your age group. That's it.
Okay, Cellulite, to answer your point, I just don't agree. I don't think the boomer mindset exists. I think I think generational criticisms are not good criticisms.
But yet you call me a YN.
Is that a generation? Is there a YN generation?
You think it's not?
Oh, wait, hold it. I've never heard of that generation. Tell me
So
about
then
it.
why?
It's,
So
it's
then
from the
why?
age
Why do you,
13 to 23.
right. So then why do you call me a
Is it
YN?
really?
Yes,
It's a
it is.
generation?
Yes.
Like
So then why?
there's millennials, there's Gen Z, and then there's a YN generation?
Yes,
Interesting.
this is known as the crash out generation.
Nightish,
So then-
don't be ridiculous.
So
There's
then
not.
why refer to me as a YN?
Oh, it's an ad hominem.
Oh, so are we dealing with ad hominems or are we dealing with facts? So which one
Okay,
are we
did I
actually
call you a
considering?
YN in the past 5 minutes?
You called me a YN the past 3-4 days. As many times as you've been going on.
Okay, I'm so
No.
sorry. You're holding
it's
grudges
okay.
now.
No, I'm not holding grudges.
Is the debate about grudges now?
No, the debate been over and you lost respectively. But the thing is,
I don't really care about your respect.
I know you don't.
To answer your point,
I'm not
I
here to.
don't
I'm not
think
here
you
to. I'm not.
I
I'm not
don't
here
do
to be respectful.
generational arguments.
I'm
I
not
don't
here-
think
I thought
we
you
could
just
argue.
said doing what you're doing right now is annoying. I
But you
thought
don't
you just
understand.
said that, Dad.
Like
If you're here
Well,
to be,
I'm annoyed.
if you're here to being annoying, then why are you here? There's adults in the room.
You know, why am I still here? I'm here because of Savage. Honestly,
cool.
the only reason I'm doing this,
You got
is
6 more
because-
minutes. You got
Okay,
6 more minutes.
I need to. I
You
need
got 6
to
more
stay
minutes.
longer. It's
You got
my.
6 more
It's up
minutes.
to me.
You got
Or
6
Savage.
more minutes.
It
You
is
got 6 more
entirely up to
minutes.
you.
Understood. Now
5
I'm
more
only
minutes.
doing
You got
this
5
Now you
more
got
minutes.
5 more
because of
minutes.
You got
Savage.
5 more minutes.
Savage is
You
the
got 5
only
more
reason I'm
minutes.
doing this.
Okay, cool. So with that being said, you didn't come to actually participate civilly in a discussion.
I'm
and
here
or
because Savage
He
asked.
came to fold his arms and pout.
yeah, because he had
Yeah.
to be on camera. So other
Yes.
than that,
Yes.
other than
Absolutely.
that, you
I'm
didn't
not
come
doing
here.
what I
wait,
want
you
to
didn't
do.
come
That's
here.
why I'm pouting.
Well, that's a boomer thing. You want to do what you want to do.
Could be.
You don't want to. You
Could
don't
be
want to do
just a
whatever.
Stanley thing.
No, that's not a Stanley thing. That's a boomer thing. It's okay. It's
Now
okay.
I can't even act.
Because
It
now
can't
watch
be a
this. But
Stanley
because Stanley,
thing.
because
Why?
Stanley, watch this. Stanley, watch this. If you had the power of the panel, then you would be doing a Stanley thing. But guess what?
Let me put it to you this way.
Hold on. Wait.
I'm
not done
here
yet.
because
I'm not done yet.
Savage.
I'm not done yet.
Savage wanted this to
I'm not
happen.
done yet. I'm not done yet. So if this was a Stanley universe and we lived off Stanley standards,
We wouldn't be having this show.
absolutely we wouldn't. Because you know why? Because that is the boomerific way to do things.
It's a Stanley thing.
No, that's not a
argue
Stanley
it is
thing.
a Stanley thing.
That's not a Stanley thing. Because
So
what you're
Stanley
doing,
has to
hold on.
act like a
Wait.
boomer.
No, it's not that
That's
Stanley
just
has
what
to-
you're doing.
It's not that Stanley
I don't
has
give
to
a
act
fuck
like
what y'all think about that.
Listen, it's not that Stanley has to act like a boomer. It's just that Stanley will refute common-based factual knowledge just because
You don't
he
present
believes in it.
anything that's common
When the
based or
55
factual.
when the
I
55
disagree that
when
you
the
do.
50 when the 55
Your opinion
when the
of
50
your
when the
facts is your opinion.
55% when the 55% was introduced, even you, not even you,
You
refuted it.
mangled
But
the
wait,
55.
but-
You did not
but-
present
but-
the 55% correctly at
But
all.
that was, but
I
here's,
still
but
think
here's
it
the
was
thing,
a
Stanley,
bullshit
Stanley,
point.
Stanley, here's the thing. Thank you for proving my point. Even with producing
You
the
have
50
no point.
Stanley, if you would just shut up and listen, maybe you can hear it. Even
If
with
I'm
me
honest.
producing the 55%, my whole
You did
point of
not. You just throw out
You won't let
random
nobody
numbers
even
say
with
and call them
even with
facts.
me
He came here to
producing,
be annoying.
even with me producing,
Well, we're in the
50
annoying phase now.
even with me producing the 55%, my
Oh,
contextual point to that is that you cannot present data that is not verified.
Can I
This man
respond
is
to that?
sighing and rolling his eyes.
Yeah, well, hold it.
Like
Let
a woman.
me
Hey, YouTube
respond
unfolded.
to cellular.
Thank you, my
I'm
father.
trying to respond to your husband. May I?
I
don't
said
think
hello
he
to
was-
somebody in the chat.
She
Are
said-
you
right,
okay?
she said-
Okay,
she
talking
said hello to
over
YouTube
me.
unfolded.
Now everyone's doing it.
Boom is gonna
Boom is
boom,
gonna
baby.
boom.
But
That's
the
actually
thing,
funny.
because it's the truth. Because that's what you're
Okay,
doing.
but Cellulite, let me respond, please.
Because you don't want to exist in today. You don't.
Okay, Cellulite, let me respond, please.
Go ahead.
I don't take your argument seriously.
Then
Never
don't.
did.
No one's
The only
forcing you.
reason
No one's
I'm
forcing
here
you,
is
nor
because
asking.
of Savage.
Dude, then
3
no one's
minutes.
forcing. No one's
3 more
forcing you,
minutes.
nor asking you
Well,
to
I'm
do
enjoying
so.
myself now.
That's cool. We'll keep enjoying yourself. No one's forcing or asking you to do so.
Now we
Just like no
bringing you
one's
the
forcing
fun.
you to be here. The when
Oh
it
no,
comes
I
down to
wanted
wait,
to be here
you
because
can leave.
Savage
You can
asked
leave.
for
But
it.
listen, you can leave whenever you want to. Just
I
like
know that.
Wait, just
Thank
like
you
wait,
for
wait.
confirming the
Just like
obvious.
just like
Thank you
boomers
for
put a, just
confirming
like
the obvious.
just like
You
boomers
have
put a
a good
timeline on
grasp
how much.
of reality.
That's fine. Just like boomers put a timeline on how much they would stay with their families, how much they would beat their women, how much they would abandon their children. You're doing the same exact thing. When the boomers said they didn't give a fuck about the black community, they only cared about themselves, you're doing the same exact thing. When the boomers was presented with facts that could better the community, guess what the boomers said? Fuck those facts, because those not my facts. When the boomers was presented with solutions, guess what the boomers said? Fuck those solutions, because those not my solutions. When the boomers was presented with problems that need to be addressed, guess what the boomers did? The boomers said, fuck those problems, because those not my problems. And here we are, Generation X and beyond, and we have to clean up the shit that not only y'all left, but that y'all fucking didn't address. That's the problem. That's the generational miscommunication that's happening here. That
Can I
even
respond?
now, I'm wasting time. Give me one more minute. even now in
1 minute, be a man of your
2025,
word.
y'all refuse to deal with the shit that y'all refused to deal with then. And y'all still won't not just hold yourself accountable, but you won't even address the responsibility that y'all walked away from. All the women that y'all beat, all the children that y'all left behind, the economic fucked up system and infrastructure that y'all left us in. Generation X had to pick it up. Then here come Gen Z. Then here come millennials. We had to clean up y'all shit because why? Thank you for presenting this argument, Stanley. Y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all never cared. So all of these
Can I
negative things, all of
respond?
these negative, I'm almost done. All of these negative connotations about the black community, thank you, boomers. We appreciate you for it. So don't come now trying to clean up the shit that y'all left behind because we're already doing it. You have men and women who have stoked the fires and kept the flame burning, moving to clean up the black community because y'all didn't give a damn. That's the problem.
That is the
Be a
problem.
man of your word.
Can I respond now?
Time's up. Be a man of your word.
Oh,
It just I don't know other than to say that's your opinion.
All right, cool. Then
Yeah.
just say goodbye. It's 6 o'clock. It's time for you to go. See you.
Plus
No,
the fact that boomers were
I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay just to
just said-
defy you. My response. Okay.
So wait, so now you're going against now you're going against your own. Wait,
I
you're
also-
defying yourself.
Wait, now
Okay.
you wait. Now you
Well,
going. Now you
God
going.
damn it,
Wait. Now
everybody's
you're going to
gonna
get
talk
your
over
own word,
everybody
right?
now.
Because black men in the boomer days told their women that they would be there forever.
Okay,
So they got their
it
kids,
just-
they left.
oh,
So you just
man.
participating in more boomerism. That's the moment that
You know what?
responsibility enters the room. Such as
Boomerism?
you being a man of your word. You said you was going to leave at 6. It's 6 my time. Your boomers
Well, then
in
I'm
those
breaking
days,
my word.
thank you, because that's all what boomers do. That's
Thank
all
you.
you niggas ever
Thank
did.
you.
That's all you niggas ever did. You niggas never gave a fuck about nothing. That's why the shit that y'all dealing with today, y'all catching that shit. Because all y'all ever did was break y'all damn word. Y'all broke promise, y'all made promise, y'all broke promise. You made situation, you broke situation. And you walked the fuck away from it with your head held high as you went and you lived your fucking life. And then you kind of come back in 2025 and tell us motherfucking grown ass men and women how to fucking live. You got life fucked up. You boomers is the reason that we in this shit today. Y'all niggas, born between 46 and now 60 motherfucking 5. Y'all niggas did this shit. That's why we having these dumbass motherfucking conversations. Every fucking panel is stupid as shit because y'all niggas did this shit. Not just you men, the women of that age too. Every fucking complaint that's online today is fucking y'all fault because y'all didn't give a fuck. But just because I have compassion about the situation and because I want to see the motherfucking community be better, guess what? I can't reach back to you old niggas to even figure out or get ways to how to do this shit because y'all fucking left. So don't complain about how we fix this shit today. Period. I don't want to hear shit about YN. I don't want to hear shit about millennial. I don't want to hear shit about Gen Z. Y'all fucking left. Fuck y'all. It's just that simple. I don't want to hear shit.
And here's the other caveat. The silent generation is actually the ones that spurred on the civil rights movement because they were young adults during the civil rights movement. So while the boomers were being raised, the silent generation raised you to it be they instilled in you black pride and black power. And the boomers were cowards because as Stanley stated earlier, we were moving into black power when the boomers were becoming young adults to carry on the torch. They dropped the ball.
bounty is now in effect. The bounty is now in effect.
They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball and they left our whole entire community in shambles. And they were the first ones to go into blaxploitation. And they were the first ones to fall into the crack epidemic because Gen Xers were still children then. It was the boomers that were participating in that.
Respectively, of course. But that's the notion of today. The notion of today is that y'all didn't have nothing to offer then. So don't come. Prime example, right? When I was working in the homeless shelter, a lot of those older gentlemen would say, "Oh, well, I'm not coming here to regulate. And a lot of the younger dudes will say, well, you can't regulate because you left. A lot of the people who came up between the time of the 60s all the way up until now. That's why everybody say, oh man, this for my mama, this for my mama, this daddy wasn't there. And this is not just a black thing. This is everybody, daddy wasn't there. This is a it's not a community thing, it's not a culture thing. But I can talk about the black community because I grew up in a day and age where I saw motherfuckers going through this. I was benefited with having both my parents married and still within the same house, even still to this day. I didn't grow up in a low class, low income, bad community. I grew up in a very good community. I grew up in a community where everyone actually held themselves together and we actually flourished and thrived. It was just my black ass fault that I went out there and I wanted to participate in the streets. That's not my parents' fault. That's me being rebellious. But at the same time, when I look at as a whole, not minority versus majority, but the other way around, majority, black people have been held back because of the shit that they did in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. When you want to talk about the migration, when you want to talk about Reconstruction, when you talk about civil rights, when you want to talk about how Martin Luther King bent over backwards for fucking white liberals, and then he turned around and said that, I marched my people into a burning house. But yet we sitting on Malcolm X. Come on, man. What we doing? We got to get away from these old ways. And the sad part is that as much as I can sit here and I can preach to you about all the things that's going on in this generation now, how in 2022, I believe that study was done by the CDC, when it said that black fathers are definitely more involved. We did that. Generation X and above did that. Not the boomers. When they talk about divorce rates, we worked that out. When they talk about fundamentals within marriages and within family, Generation X and beyond did that. Boomers didn't have nothing to do with that. Matter of fact, hold on for a second. Nightish, how old is you?
I'm 56.
During your time growing up, what was it like? What was the state of black families then?
We had what you call latchkey kids.
Where was that?
Wasn't no adults in the house.
Amazing.
You came home to an empty house. If you could get in the house, a lot of times people was breaking into their own house.
I could attest to that.
Nobody in there.
You had to stay outside till your parents came home.
We got locked in the house till they came home.
You know what happened when I was growing up? I grew up in the 90s. I was born in 89. You know what happened your ass better be at home before the street lights come on. If the street lights come on, your ass ain't at home, guess what? Your ass is sleeping outside.
Facts.
Oh yeah, you could go on the porch, you just can't leave out. You can go outside, you just can't go off the porch. Oh, you can go off the porch, you just can't go off the block. Oh, you can go off the block, you just got to be home before the street lights come home. Oh, you home before the street lights come home? See you tomorrow. We didn't get a choice of what we ate. We ate what was given to us by our parents. We didn't live in no. We didn't always go. I grew up in Murder Mitten and Motown. 313, the glove, baby. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, where shit was going good until they fucking brought that freeway down and they fucked up the goddamn Big Three. We wasn't in impoverished neighborhoods. My father went through that shit, the Detroit riots and all this, that, and the other. So you can sit your head back and all this, that, and the other, but I'm telling you, y'all can keep it. Y'all can
motherfucker, you have been preaching for the past 10 minutes about nothing much at all. I can do what the fuck I want to do with my head, and why you comment on it is beyond me. Just go ahead and preach your bullshit. I'm just listening.
8 minutes ago that you were going to fucking leave.
Motherfucker, I'm still here. But I'm still here. Get over it.
Hold on. Wait, now I can
because I'm annoyed.
That's cool. Now I can be on some new generation shit. You're here and you're not offering nothing. Just like the fucking silent generation.
Dude, what is there for me to offer?
Not a goddamn thing. So why are you here?
That's a problem. Like,
no, I don't think it's a problem at all. I'm just enjoying you crash out.
This is not this. I'm not crashing out. This is just.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
When
this
old
house is
niggas-
not a crash
when
out.
So
old
now
niggas-
they
when
have
old
to
niggas-
make
this ain't a crash
pictures
out.
of me.
I didn't make that picture. So this is what it boils down to. Y'all old niggas said fuck us, and then now you want to come back in the door and you want to sit down with your arms folded because you know it all, because you wasn't raised and you didn't have to.
You
go
know
through
what?
this shit.
I've had a
Guess
couple
what?
beers now. I'm having some fun. Besides being
Congratulations.
annoyed, I'm just gonna fuck with you
Congratulations.
until you crash out totally.
I'm not
Maybe
crashing out
clue.
totally, but when it comes down to it, refute anything I'm fucking saying, other than the fact that
Dude,
niggas
you
never
have
gave a fuck and y'all
mangled
didn't care.
history, sociology,
I haven't mangled
political
shit.
power.
Okay.
Dude,
Nobody
I haven't.
That's cool.
Wait, hold
Nice is
it.
older than me.
What-
Nice. Am I lying?
Let
Nice,
me
am I
let me know
lying?
when I can respond. I'm
That's
just
fine.
gonna let you
Waste
crash
your
out,
time.
and when
That's
you're
fine. Waste your
done,
time.
I'll
Nice,
respond.
Nice, you older than me. Nice, am I fucking lying?
No.
Savage, you older than me.
Stanley, will
Am
you
I
share
fucking
beer?
lying?
Will you share beer, Stanley? Because you say you have nothing to share. Would you share beer?
Hell no,
I'm
he ain't gonna
sorry,
share no
what?
beer. You know
I
he
can't
need all the
hear
natty
you over. I can't hear you over the other people. What were you saying, Nightish?
You said you don't have very much to share. I
Oh.
asked, would you share beer?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Would you share it just for me? Because you need one. Let me shut up.
You know what? You know what? I would.
Damn.
Hey, MCB, as much as you're abusing me, I'm still a fan.
Congratulations. But Nightish.
I see.
Yeah,
a
you
beer
not even
drinking.
have the computer. Nightish.
What?
Not Nightish. Savage. Savage, you see that, brother?
Yeah, right.
Tell
He
me the
halfway
shit
there.
that tell me the shit that I'm saying is not a lie, or if it is a lie. If it's a lie, I'll shut the fuck up.
Oh no, you're not lying at all. Not at all, brother.
Now, Stanley.
Oh, wait, hold it. I'm not calling you a liar. I think you actually believe this. You know, you're
I
not a
believe it.
liar. You're just not getting it right. It's mangling
Okay,
a
what am I
whole
not-
bunch of. I called
I
it a
getting at?
muddle, dude. I'm not going to get knee
Okay,
deep
fine
into
then.
this.
So,
Read a book.
Nightish,
I'll recommend
Nightish.
books.
Hey, Nightish,
Read it for yourself.
apparently me and you have the same belief system. Savage, you too. Apparently everyone in the chat, apparently everyone just believes everything that I know and everything that I believe in, because apparently Stanley is just too far ahead of us to even exist down within the lower realm of existence. With the
That
rest
could
of
very well be.
and that's the fucking problem.
Well, the thing of it
So
is when
dismiss
it
our
comes to
existence.
boomers, they whatever wealth the so-called black community has is being held by them still. Those old people probably going to keep getting their stem cells. They're going to put their brains inside of robots. They're going to do everything they can possibly do to never die because they'll never want to give it to nobody else.
Can I respond to that particular point, please? To Nidish's point?
Huh?
Why do you keep asking for
We have because I'm waiting for someone to say okay.
effeminate.
I'm waiting for someone to say okay. I can
acting
respond.
like a woman up here.
Okay, motherfucker. Now you're calling me a
What'd you
woman,
say?
dude. You know what?
Savage,
Hey,
what did I say?
Nightish. You know what happens if you want to start ad hominems. I win those types of arguments.
Is it okay?
You are not.
You've been on my mind, oh sister.
All this from. I just want to add. I just want to respond to
You got your
Nightish.
arms
All that.
folded, you crossing your eyes, you rolling
Okay,
your
motherfucker, stop. Just turn on. Turn. Do I? Is it better if I turn off my camera?
It's because
Okay, you seem to be noticing me a lot, Nightish.
Is it
You
because
seem
it's
to
all in
be
muscular?
commenting and noticing
asking you
me
a
a
question.
lot.
I'm asking you a question.
What's your question?
Is it because he's tall and muscular and dark?
What the
Lord,
fuck are you talking about?
You said you was only here because of Savage, and now you're asking Savage, can you talk?
You know what? You know what? I'm not following up the foolishness.
That's all right. We get it, come on.
Look,
We get it.
I just do not. I understand the history differently than you all do. Sorry that I'm just not following the muddle, lock, stock, and barrel.
I mean, you rolling your eyes, your neck.
Yeah, motherfucker. Is it illegal to roll my
not
eyes?
you leaning over to the microphone to yell.
Stanley, you have a feminist white supremacist perspective of the black
Okay,
community.
I don't give a fuck. You're not educated enough to really know.
Sir, you have a feminist.
There, I said it.
Education at all. You're not educated enough to be having conversation talking about other people's education. When you try to say black people,
Hey, I'm just, well, don't let me start in on you. Would you like to know what I think of your? You won't. You didn't win the other night, ma'am. You're not gonna win tonight. Hey, you're a better hood chick
My
than
question
I am.
is, how much education do I have?
Best.
How much education do I have?
Yeah,
How much education do I have?
here we go.
How much education do I have?
Done with the hood shit. Let me know.
You're mad.
How much education do I have?
Get some lotion for the mushy elbows.
I don't give a fuck how much education you
So then
have.
you don't know my level of education then, right?
I don't give a fuck. Did I not just? Why is your wife talking
because my wife can talk, because my wife can talk, because my wife can talk. Where's your wife? Where's your wife? Where's your wife? Go get your wife so she can talk.
Wait.
She's dead.
Okay, I don't speak it. I don't speak it.
Yeah, motherfucker, you don't know about my wife either. I don't know about your education.
Ladies, what you talking about? Ladies, what you talking about? Turn your mic up.
And I'm better at it.
Does this? No.
I'm respectfully not speaking about your dead wife. I don't speak ill of the dead. That's on nobody.
Thank you.
Can I ask Sel, Robbie, and Savage a question?
Sure.
What is it about John Galt and Stanley where they got to get on the mic like that?
Cockmouth. That's why Stanley. That's why Stanley's email. That's why Stanley's email still go to. Excuse me. That's why Stanley's email that he displayed on his channel is still go to John Galt's Rumble because he's John Galt's bitch.
Pretty much.
What are you talking? Wait, hold it. I was never on Rumble. What the fuck are you talking about?
What's the email that you got on your picture?
Oh, it's jghb.info.
Okay, and that goes directly to John Galt's Rumble, right?
Sure does.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, you sure about that?
Sure does.
I'm 100%. I'm 100%.
What's that email again?
Okay, see, now you
No. That's all right. That's all right. Don't worry about it. No, don't even worry.
Go ahead and start the Rumble so I can just destroy this point too.
That's cool. Nah, go ahead. Give me the email.
Motherfucker, I just
what's the JHB? What is it?
It's right there.
Stanley at jghb.info.
Stanley at J. Okay.
Does the H
got you?
Got
you. Oh, well, look at that! Look at that! John Galt presents. Let's see. When I do a Google search of Stanley at jghb.info, let's click right here. Click, and let's see what happens. Oh, we got to go through the Rumble verification. Oh, I ain't got a bitch. You still his bitch. You still using his shit. No, you can't respond. You're his bitch, Mr. Cockmouth. Cockmouth. You're his bitch. You're his bitch. Say it.
Yeah,
you're his bitch. Even to the point to where he still got you listed as his bitch on his site. You're his bitch. That's why you use his email. Okay? You're his bitch. You are his bitch.
Not even okay.
Cockmouth.
Let me know when I can respond.
Yeah, his bitch. Cockmouth.
You get to act the monkey.
He is the captain now. He is the captain now. John Galt is your captain. After
you're done crashing out,
get on the mic like that. You don't have to get on top of
it. Motherfucker, shut the fuck up.
You ain't got to put the microphone in your mouth.
Let the men speak.
John Galt is your daddy. How did you describe John Galt semen? You said it had a sweet pearl flavor profile. Ain't that what you said?
He's a sweet.
Sweeter?
Yes.
You said sweeter?
Savage, are you still there?
Oh, you about to say bye-bye? You can just click off. It's a red button.
No, I was going to ask him. This is just devolving into
absolutely.
This ghetto.
We're done with the debate. You lost.
Because you're devolving into this ghetto conversation.
If I have a boomer mentality,
you're out here acting like a bitch.
Why is this silly bitch
like a bitch?
Oh, my nigga, listen, don't talk about my wife when you ain't like to speak.
Hold on a second. See, if you call me a bitch again, I'm going to cry. You're going to cry. You're going to cry. Talk about your wife, you gonna cry.
Listen, I won't talk about it.
You gonna cry. I'm gonna talk about it. You gonna cry.
If I had to fight my daddy, my uncles, my brothers, but I ain't never thought I had to fight in my own house.
Hey, at least my wife's still alive, my nigga. At least
That
that's what you
way.
got a wife.
Yeah,
Okay,
that you
go
know
get
what?
you one. Go get you a new
Let
one.
me
Go get you a new
respond.
one.
Jesus, not me. Cause I throw hands.
Huh?
Can
What
I
about that?
can I
What about that? What
Your
about
respond?
wife
that? What
went
about that
back to
biracial
Jesus so
son?
she
Savage,
could get
What
a
about that
woman to
you're
biracial
you.
not
son?
being allowed
What
to
about
I
that
just
speak.
want to know
biracial
real
son?
quick.
Why
I
not?
just want to know real quick.
We swing.
Does this? No.
You got to get in where you fit in, Stanley. We slinging shit at the wall.
Hold on 1 second.
Hey, I
I
don't
love
fit in with it.
wait.
Huh? No, you
Motherfucker.
got-
Yeah.
Hold on. I enjoyed the arguments and the back and forth, but can we please just let's not talk about any like family members or wives, anything like that, because we can be disrespectful, but that's disrespectful. You know what I mean? So let's not do that. I appreciate everybody. Let's just not do that.
Well, he shouldn't have called my wife a bitch. He should
He
watch
shouldn't
his
do.
fucking mouth.
Matter of fact, Savage.
Just watch what we say about each other's family members,
Savage.
wives, and husbands.
Savage.
Yes, dear.
Savage. That cash up, use it.
I got you.
Damn.
Really.
Bye, bitch, nigga. Fuck up out of here. Motherfucker ain't gonna participate in shit.
Minutes out into the dungeon. You got 10 minutes in the dungeon. He dropped off. God damn.
Careful, he like it in the dungeon. He get to spread his cheeks down there.
Good Lord.
He down there searching for the residue of John Galt right now.
Shite.
Bitch ass nigga.
Everybody, you are very welcome. And I'll be an educated bitch, unlike your wife. You're mad because you came up here embarrassing your motherfucking self, talking a whole bunch of facts about black people that are not true. You sat on your show and said black boomers didn't exist, and they do.
John Galt's bitch.
Then you want to sit there and say black people didn't have black political power when they did. They broke Jim Crow. You wanted to sit here and have a debate or a discussion, and you brought no facts, and you wanted to try to tear down the other person's perspective by saying a whole bunch of nonsense,
Nothing.
being loud and loquacious. People brought you data, and you wanted to try to dispute the data because you had no data to bring. And then you sat up here like a petulant child and threw a temper tantrum because you could not substantiate your perspective or your point. The true key point of a debate is to be able to share information without having to slow down the conversation by sharing and showing every nuance and nugget of information that you are extrapolating from your mouth. The only difference is you didn't have any. You're a loser and you're a bum. And then you sat over here, interrupted everybody when they were speaking, and then acted like a bitch on a period, like you need a cranberry and a fucking Midol anytime somebody else talked. You're fucking ridiculous and you're a child.
Well, try to tell people.
Good
And see, the sad part is, I actually took the time to prepare for this debate. But the moment that Negro said, "Well, I don't want to talk about data," but yet you asked for data. When I bring you the 55% unemployment, when I bring you how it is that percentage-wise, that black people have been under a detriment of this country since the moment that we got here. When I bring to you percentage-wise that since the 60s, that black people have been buying into the Democrat and or liberal mindset that they willingly gave up on black community, when I can bring you those percentages, then don't sit back here and say, "Well, I don't want to talk about data unless it's my data." Then fuck it. You didn't come to debate, you came to bitch, and you got it. So I hope the next time somebody want to debate me, I hope y'all don't use this as a reference, because this nigga did not come to fucking debate. And it's not the fact that it's high school, my motherfucker. You got to understand, I'm not debating to prove you wrong. I'm debating to prove me right. That's the whole point of the debate. I'm not debating against you. I'm debating for the crowd. That's how debates work.
Yep.
Here's another point. He also knew he was dead ass wrong because he bought an article and I don't want to read the article. What'd you bring it for then? You just didn't think there were going to be any counters, because there are several articles that could have been brought up about how boomers actually destroyed the modern society and economy.
Supreme, you don't want none. Supreme said, "I'll come debate you right now." You don't want none. Light, bright skin, ass motherfucker. That's my nigga though. I love Supreme. But yeah, Nightish, the Savage,
Yeah.
everybody, y'all got to find me a better opponent. This wasn't.
Looks like it.
I never found the opponent in the first place.
Oh, my bad.
How could I find your opponent when most of the stuff you say is stuff I already talked about like 2 years ago?
What Nightish? You know how many times
here report I showed the people coming from the military that was on methadone. I showed the people that was beating the hell out of their wives and explaining why they was beating the hell out of their wives because they felt that man was sick because that while they was in the military, the women was supposedly Rosie the Riveters and they was just now they independence. I did this like 2 years ago.
But Nightish,
Sure did.
Here's the thing, though, Nightish. Everybody would refute the truth that you're telling.
They fought it. They called me what they call me? They said I was simping for women. They had a whole full-fledged attack on me.
There you go. It's a truth that can't be refuted because it's documented and it's historically correct. It's factual. Even if you want to,
the main factual point is why generations after the boomers kind of gave up on political stuff because they don't understand that those boomers that took over them jobs and still standing them and got all that money still are holding the wealth. So that's why the kids don't see the benefit from it because that generation of people still have the money.
The only thing that he said that was correct was there's a difference between white boomers and black boomers, in which I'm not going to argue that. Because there is. You see what the white boomers is doing. They're putting requirements on the knowledge and the things that they're holding back from their children. But black boomers didn't have that opportunity. Even if you want to talk about politics, they're bringing their children into the political atmosphere. And black people in the black community, we're trying to figure out why we still got a baby deletion problem, and why we still got a divorce rate, and why we still got high crime rates, and the family court is still an issue.
Because of the term you just brought up, them children that got brought in by them boomers have their boomer parents' mindset. So all in places where you had Democratic ran black folks running it, they stealing all the money.
Oh, so
exactly. Taking care of the people. They got the same mindset as they boomer parents. This is for me.
When I heard my wife
with private jets, private security, they taking money for vacations and.
When I heard my wife say years ago that y'all want to sit up here and keep having these dumbass DNP conversations, y'all should be going out and getting understood on what the government is. Go out and vote. Y'all not doing anything. Y'all basing everything off YouTube talking points. Y'all not doing anything politically. What was the pushback that was given to her? No one gives a fuck about politics. Oh, okay, cool. But when the white people get up here and they get to doing dumb shit, oh, them motherfucking Republicans, them motherfucking Democrats. Well, how come y'all didn't step into the arena? Y'all had ample opportunity to do so, but y'all follow behind Martin and said, fuck Malcolm. Got it.
Exactly, because like I said earlier in the conversation, the feminist movement combined with COINTELPRO, combined with blaxploitation, combined with flooding crack cocaine into the neighborhoods, combined with that just being a weak ass generation that was scared after they saw the deletions of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, Fred Hampton. They saw the Black Panthers getting placed in bars and being incarcerated. They didn't have any fight. They didn't have any chutzpah. They didn't have any moxie. That's what happened.
But he wanted to recommend the book called The Lonely Black Republican. But here's the thing about the Lonely Black Conservative, the Lonely Black Republican. The lonely Black Republican isn't actually alone. It's just that people are afraid to tell the truth. People are afraid to pass on information. People are afraid to set up the next generation for what it is that they need so that they can be able to strive and thrive so they can pass along to theirs. That's the problem, specifically in the Black community. They don't want to pass shit on. What did JP say? I don't believe in life insurance. I'm betting on myself. What?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Don't leave that communist mindset out of it either. It's a whole bunch about doing something for free. If we all poor and your mindset is, I don't even charge people, I'll do this for free. That's you.
Exactly.
That ain't me.
Here for the money.
Then when I think about what I actually do for free, I don't like to say, and I got to tell you all the things I already done for you for free. Because if I'm doing it for myself, I don't want to talk about it then afterwards in defense of somebody saying that I didn't do something for free. For example, when I came into these YouTube spaces, people said, "Oh, brother, we just mean you, blah, 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 blah. Put your link in the chat if you knew, so everybody can get to know you, go to your channel, blah, 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 blah." So I took that on because it was done for me, to anybody that ever came around me. So if I met you in the Black House, and then you popped over on my channel, the first day you got there, your link was in the chat.
First of all, sir, you ain't gonna be bringing up old shit, all right?
But see, I've done it for so many people. I've done it for so many people that I don't like to bring it up because it defeats the purpose of it. But what you'll hear people say is, "Nice, don't do that." I done spent $100 on multiple channels. I don't like to talk about it though because it diminishes the fact. But that's what people are doing in space because they got that communist mind. Like JP, I don't even like to even have a discussion with him. I literally, me, Bomb Cherry, PhD Diva, and Governor Ryan carried that channel for a year and a half while they was calling it the crack house. So I don't even want to talk to him.
Well, I dig what you're saying, Daddy. So I'll keep it on.
No, don't do that.
I won't ever ask you.
Don't do that. Did you look in your email? Did you look in your email?
Savage.
Did you look in your email? Savage, did you look in your email?
The conversation I had. Look at your email. That's what he's telling you.
I'm saying it. I said it like 3 times.
Man, I can't hear.
The conversation I had last night with Dave Anderson was so dope because we was talking about a lot of this stuff. And shout out to him and his book, The Real Black Agenda. Y'all can check it out at therealblackagenda.com. But it's a lot of broken fragments in this community, and people like Stanley keep the broken fragments broken. They're not trying to heal or repair anything. And this was a great time to have a great conversation. But you cannot include alcohol when you're having conversations of import, whether you agree or whether you disagree. Like, you should simply be able to come to a conversation with a sober mind and be able to really just flesh out a conversation. Like, I really don't understand the level of emotions that people put into it. I really can't stand when people like cut each other off. Every now and again, there'll be a little slight interjection, sure. But just like obnoxiously like yelling over people and doing so much, and then when people do it right back to you, acting like they're the problem, that's gaslighting. I don't respect gaslighting as people.
Raw, do you remember the scene in The Matrix when they were trying to get that blue pill dude to take the red pill and he fought him?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with Harriet Tubman saying, I could have freed way more slaves if they'd realized they were slaves. They wanted to stay being slaves. Like JP don't know, he what he's fighting to be is a slave. And he want us all to be on the same page. So that man literally thought, I'm not taking a red pill. I don't want to see them things stabbed in the back of my head and we eating look like oatmeal. I want to stay in this lie we living in. That's this picture I got right on the side of me, the Sugar Shack. Then people dancing, they behind out to some jazz, eyes completely closed.
Yeah, but here's the can I introduce something? I'm not mad at JP for the way he think. You know why? Because it was someone that was in the generation that was before him that didn't pass it on. They held it back. And it's a lot of people who go into that. It's a lot of people who participate in this kingdom of niggatry because they think that this is the way it got to be. We got to go back to the way how it was in the old. But because of that skipped generation, that boomer generation, they are withholding information that could have been foundationally beneficial to the following generations that came after them. I ain't mad at them. Because you know why? It's too much I got to focus on now, dealing with shit that I didn't cause, dealing with shit that this generation, the generation before me didn't cause. They're the ones that opened up the way for people to think like how JP, like how JP think. They're the ones that pretty much say, you know what? It's okay to be a nigga. Be a nigga.
Well, I listened to exactly what he says. He said he learned that from his aunts and stuff. So he's basically being his aunties is what he's saying, his words verbatim. But my thing about a dude like that is that while I'm trying to build a boat, he'll be the one stabbing holes in the back of it.
Exactly. When we put the tape on the hose and then we fix the engine, he fuck up the engine.
Exactly. And it's really crazy because some people do have great points to bring into a conversation, but You don't have to be condescending if your logic is great. If your logic is great, you should be able to talk about something without devolving into so much emotion. Like even with Jay Prince, like Jay Prince, that's how he wants to live his life. Cool, but like you can't expect other people to want to continue to fund your life because you want to live that way. And it's the entitlement for me.
Yeah. Because that man went out of his way to come on my panel and tell me, why you got this long ass intro? Just talk. Just come on and start talking. Like when I get up, I just turn on my mic. Yeah, I see you in the toilet. I see you in the shower. I also see you get up, go smoke a cigarette, and come and start eating. I never hear the sink come on. Then he told me washing your hands is for pussies.
Ew.
All right, Savage, just been real. I gotta get
Yeah. Yo,
before we go though, Savage, I want to show something right quick. Let me put this in the back. Before we go. So last night I promoted this coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Pull it up.
Oh, I saw all the things you did.
And I was in the back. No, pull it up. It's just a couple seconds.
Yeah, okay. Hold on.
I grabbed your short and I played this clip last night. Push play.
Wait, how do you got
Wait a minute, is that the right video? Wait a second. Yeah, that's the video. That's the show.
You gotta press play.
Oh, I gotta unmute it. Okay, give me a second. There we go. Let's pull it back in the back. Let's see. Idea of the conversation. It's crazy to me.
I'm just trying to understand why a man would categorically file another man's semen and sweep.
Ask the question again, so I understand it properly.
Okay.
Maybe I misunderstood.
If you heard a man describe another man's flavor profile of his semen as sweet, what would you?
And I think you don't know what the fuck it is you talking about.
Cockmouth.
Look at you trying to play.
Cockmouth.
And I think you don't know what the fuck it is you talking about.
Hey, Cockmouth, calm down.
You like something bugs on your tongue. Stanley.
Cockmouth. Dude, y'all. Stanley, I got a question.
Come on camera. Would you like to juggle? You like to fucking juggle, motherfucker?
Let's stop there right there. We'll go from that to this. In a flash, I was all alone. Let's see. We'll put our music to it. What's going on? Almond Eyes, Angel, Earth Love, OG Sigma, and No Chaser. So that was my advertisement for the show today. And one last thing, you should be able to find this in your email. Give me 1 second. We'll go out with this.
Aim for the pressure. So they gave me one. Not a man. Not a citizen. Condition. You don't know what it's like being savage. Built in the system designed to damage. They call my breath a threat, my walk a crime. Then clock my pulse like I'm out of line. You don't know what it's like being savage. Every step monitored, every habit.
That nigga just dropped off. I'm trying to play the.
Right, I was like, what happened?
I'm trying to hear the whole joint. God damn, man. I appreciate y'all, man. It's actually worked out pretty well, man. I thought it was gonna be some shit. But I appreciate everything that y'all did.
We definitely gotta do it again. It was pretty cool until Stanley started crashing out and tweaking out. Like sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Like it is what it is. Like
it is what it is. All right, y'all. Yo, I check you. I'm gonna hit y'all up in the inbox probably tomorrow or later on.
All right. See you later.
Appreciate you, Roy G. Appreciate you, Cellulite.
He's chasing the
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. All right, all right, y'all. I appreciate everybody for stopping through. It was a great show. It's a great turnout. I loved it. I appreciate you all. Just remember, and you know what? Nightish, man. Nightish, man, another one. I'll make sure it's reciprocated always. Because we all need to not play them games and help each other out, man. Salute to everybody that popped into this to the chat, everybody who tuned into the show. I appreciate every single one of y'all. There's gonna be much more shows to come. And it is what it is. You know, I like it. This is fun. It's fun. Wait, hold on. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. My bad. I'm walking around.
What's your final words for the day, man, before we drop off?
My final words for the day. Hold on, my microphone is all the way up. My final word for the day is to hell with the boomers. That's my final word.
Golden.
Appreciate you, big homie. Thank you.
All right, brother. I check it. All right, everybody. Have a good one, and we out of here.
Time out. It's Savage Sleep.
Oh, put him on the main screen.
Yes, he is.
Put him on the main screen.
Savage.
That's the second time. Pull him up.
Savage. Go.
Savage.
Savage. I'm gonna do a screenshot. I screenshot that. He's serious with it too.
Y'all gotta let him sleep. Y'all know he said he gotta go to work.
It's okay. He gotta go to work in 5 minutes. Savage.
Natasha went there. Natasha went there. Come on, Natasha.
Okay, what you doing over there smoking? I see your little hug. I can't. Can't you hear me, Miss Bernie? Savage. Savage.
Savage. Hey, Savage. He's God here. I'm real. Savage.
Thank you, Big Bad Bull. Savage.
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 He's playing podcast or money for his Jordan. Savage. Savage.
Come on here, not Lord.
Whoa, he really smoky. Yeah.
I've been stroking to the east. I've been stroking to the west. I've been stroking. I've been stroking.
Savage police.
That's he was. Hey, my lipstick five. Got me working day and night. My sugar.
Hey, y'all. Hey, these late night live streams is hard for me. Because he said he went to work.
Good night, sweetheart. Good night.